All right. Thank you for coming to the Global Paranormal Podcast. My name is Mike the Fallen Angel, and today we have this is going to be our second episode live, and I have a good guest right now, great buddy. He's going to go ahead and introduce himself right now and share some great experience with you. All right, go ahead, take it away, bud.
Thanks for having me, man. My name's Bobby Price, born and raised here in San Antonio. Lived here my entire life. And it's funny that Mike reached out to me that we share a lot of some unique paranormal stories. I think we're fortunate that we both had some cool experiences ghost hunting. And a lot of people, I think, yeah, of course, they have cool ghost stories or been to a creepy place. But when you actually get really invested into it and, okay, let's get this equipment. Okay, we need to have this recorder. I don't know if you would agree, but it steps up the level of excitement because you know you can actually capture something. And when you capture your first EVP, when you really know that you control the setting, there was nothing in the house or wherever you were, and everyone was silent, not moving. And when you first hear a voice come over the speaker or in the headphones, it 100% gives you chills.
Yeah,
And you
especially if it
know,
calls your name. Yeah, right. Especially if it calls out like
oh
your
man,
name, man. It's like, oh my God, did I hear that? You know?
I've never had anything say my name, but I did have at a house I used to live at with an ex-girlfriend. Strange things started happening there, and what really clued me in were my dogs. And I'm a zoology major. I've had plenty of animals,
Oh
aquariums,
wow,
dogs,
that's
cats,
awesome.
sugar gliders, everything you could think of. But my dogs, they really acted weird in this particular house. And we rented it for a year, and they wouldn't go into the kitchen. And it's, I'm not going to go out there and say that my dogs are the best well behaved because they will beg for food and try to come in the kitchen. They would never go in that kitchen. And one of my dogs would stare just particularly to one corner and growl really bad. And when that started happening, I was like, is something here in this house that we rented, because we rented a house in Hunter's Chase. It's off of 604 in Hosman.
Uh-huh.
That area's been around for a long time. And yeah, something was there. So we did a few EVPs, and I had a buddy come over, and he was not too thrilled to do it to
Yeah.
participate because he's afraid of them. He's straight up afraid of ghosts. And a lot of people are. They don't want to mess with it. They don't
Oh
want to talk
yeah.
about it. Don't even
Especially
bring it up. Yeah.
especially when they don't, people are scared of the unknown. What they're
Mhm.
not, they don't know. It's just human nature. They're gonna get scared. It's because it's something.
That's 100%. Okay. On scary movies, I'm a huge horror fan, but I don't like slasher films. If there's a psychotic killer, yeah, there's something wrong with him, or he may be extra large man and incredibly athletic. Shoot him, he's dead. It's the paranormal that you can't stop. It's the stuff you
Yeah,
can't touch, the
you
stuff
can't
that can come
see.
inside your mind. Yeah, that's why I love those kind of movies, and that's why I think you're right. A lot of people, you even bring it up and they're like, don't want to talk about it, don't want to hear about it. Well, Gabe was one of those friends, and I convinced him to do an EVP at my house. So when he came over, we would notice that my dog Tequila would start growling at whatever it was that she saw way more frequently, like every 5-10 minutes. So we pulled out the recorder. We pulled out, actually it was a microphone, and we were just using Audacity on the computer. And I set it going, and I had already known because I'd done a few of these EVPs in the house. I had to make sure my roommate wasn't home. All TVs were off. I turned off even the AC in the house because the microphone's so sensitive. It's a lot of white noise going on when you turn it up. But if you have things going on in the house, even like a refrigerator running, it's overpowering on the recording. So it was dead silent, and my friend Gabe finally asked. He was like, do you like me being over here? He would come over every day and hang out, drink some beer, play video games, whatever. Do you like me being here? Is it cool that I'm here? And we ended the recording, and then we did a few more sessions. Did you see that? My lights
Yeah,
flickered.
yeah. Mine flicker too. Yeah,
Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's
yeah.
odd.
It's getting really kind of dark out there. I'm looking out the window, so yeah, it's supposedly a tornado. It was a tornado warning or something like that.
Yeah. Actually, where I live, there was a tornado sighting. I live almost in Bernie. Not quite, but up I-10 a little bit.
Oh,
So it
okay.
got rowdy out here when it stormed the other day. Big time.
Oh wow.
I'm sorry.
Oh
Back to
no
the
worries.
story. So we did a few recordings. And the thing when I do EVPs, I hadn't learned at the time to do an EVP, go back and listen to it. What I would do was 30 minutes of recording and asking different questions and maybe infliction and sometimes using provocation, which is maybe not the smartest thing to do at that time when I lived in the house. Nothing happened though. But you know, the day went on, and then when we were done recording, we went back and listened, and Gabe was very intrigued to, actually hear something, and he didn't like at all what he heard because on this voice, the EVP, it was a really good one. You can clearly hear it. You hear Gabe ask, "Is there anyone here? Do you mind me being here all the time?" And very clearly out of nowhere, it says, "Get out of here." And
Wow.
man, when I heard it too, I was like, "Oh shit, that ghost does not like Gabe. Whatever spirit is here does not like him." Because there's a very aggressive way of saying that. And
Yeah.
like you're saying, when it says your name, it gives you chills. I've never had my name, but when I heard it say that to my friend, I was like, ooh,
Yeah,
that's
when it's directly to you,
ooh.
it's a different story. Like I know I can share one experience where uh we went to a investigation with like I said with the ex paranormal group I used to be with. We went out there and I think the lady was there was an entity that was in her house. They don't know what how it happened, but I know it was really scaring her kid. Her I think her that was her son, I believe, or it was her grandson, and then whoever was there, it was her daughter. So I remember one time we went there, did an investigation. Nothing. I know when we went there, I felt like because supposedly a little girl had like hung herself or something like that, who prior
Oh,
to
okay.
lived there. So when
Mm-hmm.
we got there, first thing I walk in, my friend tells me when you walk in there, you're gonna feel like this sensation, like someone's choking you. You know, kind of like when you have, I guess like a cough. You know how you're like, and you
Mm-hmm.
kind of feel like kind of really real tight on your chest.
You feel it tight, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I walked in, and like I walked in. As soon as I walked in, he goes, "Look, go in that room." As soon as I walked in, I felt like something stopped me, like some force pushed me, like you're not going in, and I felt that tightness, and I was like,
Ooh.
like I had to like step out because I couldn't like I couldn't really breathe, and we walked in there, and it I guess I guess when the ghost kind of like figured like okay these guys are not gonna they're not harmful, so it stopped, right, like,
Mm-hmm.
and we did a EVP session, and we use this thing that I don't know if you heard of Steve Huff. He's on YouTube.
Mm-mm.
He's like a big guy, man. Yeah, the guy's he's like one of the best paranormal. He has a ghost box. You gotta check him out. He's like proud to me. He's like the Michael Jordan of like ghost paranormal. This guy is like in
Okay,
tune
wow.
with spirits. Like
Mm-hmm.
he just doesn't say random. He's like in tune with them, and he has a ghost box that talks. Like he made it, and he's like, man, I guess into like ITC, what they call it. Like, man, this guy's you gotta check him out. He's really good, and
Those ghost boxes
yeah,
blow my mind.
yeah,
They're
and
so cool.
he had an app, and I know I comment on his page, and he told me to get this certain app, and it's worked. And shout out to Steve Huff. I just want to give a big fan of you. If you see my YouTube, gotta come visit your boy. But anyway, yeah, I'm a big fan of his, dude. I hope one day I can be able to get him on the show. But yeah, you definitely gotta check him out. I think it's called Spiritus and Necrophonics, and I know him and his other friend. It's called Paranormal Hope. It's another friend of his that they get together, and they
Mm-hmm.
both use it, man. And mine's on my phone, so I just plug a big speaker and we'll
Yeah.
start random, and I hear my name calling out. You hear like
I
voices.
100% I want that. I need to get
Yes,
that
yeah,
app.
you can you can like look on the Play Store or iTunes wherever you have and just look up Necrophonics. Trust me, it's worth the money. It's worth
Yeah.
the money, but I know a lot of people think it's fake because they're like, "Oh, I don't hear my name. I just hear like random voices." But in the spirit and in Steve House teachings, you have to like build a connection with the spirits. Like
Okay.
you have to meditate, you have to be one with them. And like him, when he talks directly to them, man, they know him. They're like, "Hi, Steve," or sometimes spirits come in and they'll call out his name and he'll answer questions and they'll reply back.
That's
That
really
ghost
cool.
box. They'll be like, "Hey," he'll ask them like, "Oh, well, how's it in heaven? Do you speak to God?" And they'll be like, "Yes,
Hmm.
God lives." They're like directly, like it's
Really?
and some of these spirit boxes they just say maybe one phrase. Like they'll say like,
Yeah.
like for instance, like you have a dog at your house, right? So let's say your dog's near you,
Hmm.
and you ask it a question like, "Who's here with me?" They may go, "Dog," and then it'll say your name, "Dog." It'll
And
say, "Dog." Yeah,
that alone
dog.
is an
Table.
incredibly intelligent response, though. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
so you get a lot of hits off of that, and see,
Mhm.
I was a guy that didn't believe it. I was like, nah, these things are just running off Siri, all that stuff. But
Mhm.
when I done it in my house, my mom had passed away 10 years ago, and she died at the house. So like we did it, and I feel her presence. I can smell her perfume. I know she's talked to me during the ghost box, even in dreams. Like she'll come to me
Mhm.
and she'll let me know she's fine, and it's crazy. But like, yeah, all that stuff is
That's amazing.
really
That's
good.
really cool.
Yeah, so
That's a
definitely check
wonderful
it out.
experience to have.
Yeah, so definitely check it out, Steve Huff. And what's good about that guy, I love him that he teaches you how to reach out to them. Like he'll break it down to you, and like a lot of videos, man. He's been doing this for like 7 years, I believe. But
Mhm.
yeah, he's got a lot of videos, and he'll show you how to like I guess get one on one with the spirits, like how to communicate. So yeah, definitely you got to
Yeah.
check him out.
So that's really interesting that you said that because it makes 100% it makes sense in my mind because they always say that like how you said you were affected, that they would use that spirits can or will use our energy. Well, it's interesting that you're saying that they know him on such a personal level because I never thought about, well, instead of running across instances where they take your energy and you feel affected and you're like, huh, that was strange, that he actively pursues that connection. Because if they're able to use his energy willingly in a meditative state, or maybe, a certain frequency that he puts his mindset to, yeah, I can imagine that connection would be strong, and that the spirit would be
Yeah.
a more natural flow of
And he's been
energy.
attacked. He's been attacked. Like he has a video. Like if you look at his videos, he's got like I said, a lot of them. And he's gonna attack, and he cried like on video, and you can tell it wasn't fake. Like he was talking,
That's
he experienced, he explains exactly what he saw.
that would
And
be a big part of the risk, though, because you
yeah,
are surrendering yourself. You're surrendering. I mean, in my opinion, so when you use a Ouija board, or people that have used spirit boxes, spirit boards, whatever you want to call them, there's a million different versions, and they go back hundreds and hundreds of years. Um, the thing that really gets them to work for people that believe them is it's because you're surrendering yourself. You're surrendering your energy, your mind, and at that point, it can become dangerous because if something hops in or tries to use your energy to take over, like what you're saying with Mr. Huff,
yeah,
that it could be bad. It can hurt you. But I mean, at that point, I mean, I think the people that are willing to do that and experience that, it's the thirst for what's out there is to experience more than what every day you walk around and see. I mean, that's to me, once you've seen something or experienced something, it's on. You're obsessed because
yeah,
now you know there's something more. Now you
yeah.
know that there's either an afterlife or maybe what we're sensing is the in between to the afterlife. Well, regardless, there's something there.
Yeah, there is, and I'm a big believer of parallel universe. Like I study like all this stuff on my off times. I got a million hobbies, dude, but like this is like number one. So like when I'm
Mm-hmm.
on my off time, I'm just like looking at videos, going on Google, researching, looking up these guys that are like because you like when you've been in the paranormal field or and in your heart like you'll know who's real and who's fake. Like
Yeah.
you don't know who's talking truth and who's speaking truth and who's not. They're just doing it for the fame. And I look for the guys like Steve Huff that they're like really into it, dude. Like, they're explaining to it. They're just not like, hey, let's get a camera and let's all go out to a cemetery and get likes and views and let's see we get some responses.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what you want. Like I mean, I know I was always into it. Like even with Ghost Adventures, like I mean, I'm a big show fan, but some of it to me it's kind of like, I know disrespect. I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to bash on them, but
I
some of it
know
it's
100%
acting.
what you mean.
Yeah, like
It
I
is.
I
It's
don't want to.
very embellished.
Yeah, and I don't want to be that like when me and my buddy Art and some other guys we go when we start going on investigations. I don't want to put on an act, dude. Like I don't want to be there and
Mm-hmm.
be like, oh my god, something touched me, and then have the camera looking around and me looking all scared. Like,
Yeah.
it's like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But like if we can catch it, great. And I do have a video, but I would have to show it to you maybe whenever we get together again.
Yeah.
And, like we can meet somewhere I can show you because it's not it's my video as well, but it's connected to other, and it's kind of like copyright. I don't want to get involved with it, but
Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
it's a perfect image, dude, of a ghost we caught moving from one room to the other room. Like you just see a shadow of a figure just walk across the room like that. It was
The
awesome, bro.
shadow figures is what really gets me because if you can't explain like a light source, obviously how shadows work, man, that's something else because you're seeing something, in my opinion, I don't really understand, but it's like negative light. Like it's as if it's drawing the light like a black hole.
Yeah,
And that's that energy you're seeing. So for you to see something like that, that's powerful. You can't deny
yeah,
that because it's not a shadow to me. I know we call them shadow figures, but to me, it's pulling any light or energy around it, and that's what you're seeing.
yep. And the video we caught, man, it was like, I mean, it was perfect because like Art was with there. He was a camera guy. He
Mm-hmm.
he set up the tripod with I think it was like an iPod, whatever, camera on it. He set it. We put the EVP recorder there. It's called the cell phone method. So like we didn't invent it. This paranormal group, all the paranormal people are doing it now. It's like a new technique. It's really cool. So what you do is like, if you really wanted to find out, like take your investigation further besides just using EVPs, what
Mm-hmm.
you would do is you would get your phone, and let's say I'd get my phone, and we're at your place, right? So everybody leaves the house. There's no one there. You try to eliminate how much sound, like say like maybe in a room where like the refrigerator running,
Oh, I
it's
know.
something
Yeah.
that's so dead quiet, right? And you put the phone in there, and maybe you want to put it in a room where it's active, where you had your activities. You put the phone on, you walk out, right? So my phone's out there and in the room by itself with the tripod and the voice, everything's the audio's going off, everything's recording. So we go out there, we're all outside, and you're gonna be asking any questions, like as you were talking to me on the cell phone. You're gonna say like, what do you want? What's your
Hmm.
name? What you doing here? Are you dead? Whatever questions you want to ask. We give it about a good 15, 20 minutes. After that, we go back in, and you'll hear like audio. You'll hear movement. It's weird because they move your phone. Like you'll hear the movement of the phone. We've caught that, but that day of that investigation, we heard it say hi, and then we heard like a woman crying, and then
Hmm.
that's when we were like, oh whoa, we caught that. So when we saw that, then during that session, we were like, okay, well, we're gonna go back in the house now. So we when we walked back in, that's when the entity, like, it was like a black mass in the door, like you could see it, like it was just covering the whole door, and that wasn't regular darkness. And once we said we're
Oh,
going
it's
back,
different. Yeah.
that thing just walked away. And it's weird because like through the door, without that darkness, there's a baby's bed right there. So like the moment it walked, you couldn't see the baby bed at all, but the moment it walked away, that baby bed was, you can see it perfectly. And that thing walk, and
Yeah.
you see it form like a man, and it just walked right into the bathroom and disappeared. And what's crazy is that house is small. It wasn't like a two-story house. Like my house is a big house. So like that one was just a small little, like, four-bedroom, like, yeah, maybe like five rooms, four rooms, one
Hmm.
bathroom. It was really small. And we caught that perfect, dude. And it was,
Ooh.
yeah, it was that was like my first, like, and it was weird because like I wasn't scared. Like I was like pumped. I was like, oh man, if I can get this all the
Yeah.
time.
Hmm. No, that's the thing, because I would say maybe your first instance, unless it's something, and I really don't like to use this word really often, but evil. I mean, when you first see a ghost or sense it or EVP, any sort of way, it gets your blood pumping, your adrenaline, and you're excited. I know it's scary a little bit, but then it's overcome with this. You want to know more.
Yeah,
You're waiting
exactly.
for the next experience. You're
Yeah,
really just you're chasing it.
you want to know more because like you said, we talked about, it's proof of afterlife. There's proof of what's the other side, and you want to know.
So
So
I've
that's
seen that
that's
method that
obsessed
you
that.
talked about. Oh yeah, I've seen the method that you just spoke about on TV and different shows. But in your opinion, why do you think they respond more to just audio waves and us speaking to them that way rather than us being in the room with them? You think?
It's weird. I honestly think they're like, how can I say it, like animals. Like, I mean, I would think about it like, if we're different, I mean, they know. Like, if I was a ghost and I had the same mentality I have now, if I passed on, I mean, I wouldn't want to scare people, and I would know, like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna scare this guy. Like, okay, I'm in his house. I want him to see me, but if I jump in front of him as a dark mass, what's he gonna do? Like, poor guy, I'm gonna put him in his grave. Like that. Because I feel like they do have their mentality. Like when you die, your energy goes. Energy doesn't die. It goes with you. But your whatever you done, it stays with you. Like your mind,
Oh, your
and
soul, your
yeah, yeah. Because
consciousness.
if they
Yeah.
can reply your name, if it's that smart, if that entity's smart enough to reply back to you, I mean, then its conscience, its mind is with you. I mean, I believe the body dies,
Yeah.
but your soul moves forward, and that's what I think with life. That's why it's so amazing, because people think like you're dead, you're dead. It's like they think like you're a television, like once the power's off, that's it. you know
What's
I,
the no, that's definitely not
yeah,
how it works. I mean, they literally nothing in the universe ever really dies. Everything's recycled.
yeah,
Even breaking out. Okay, so like a perfect example, the way I like to explain it is, they explain to you in health class or science, whatever, when you're a kid, that your skin regenerates all the time, correct?
yes,
So your skin is constantly dying and your cells are reforming new layers of skin. Well, that works throughout your whole body for every tissue, whether it's bone or organ or hair, saliva, it doesn't matter. Well, just not the body cells regenerate, but atoms, not regenerate, I'm sorry, recycle. Atoms recycle. Like they don't ever disappear in the universe. They're reused at the molecular structure when something's exploded in protons and neutrons and everything, and it's destroying of whatever the molecular, whatever it was, the structure, those get picked up and reused back in the universe. So, I mean, everything that's in us, it doesn't just go away. It doesn't stop. I
yeah,
mean, it has to go somewhere else. Like you're saying, whether it's in another realm or dimension or phase, whatever you want to call it, or whatever it is. I mean, we're going somewhere.
I mean, I believe, for me, like I found this out on my own, and it's just my, like I said, my belief. I feel like we were here in the past. Like you said, we all recycled. Like, I don't know why. I just feel like when you feel like a certain feeling about like this is who I am, who I used to be, what I like me. Like I'm a type of guy that I'm a fighter. Like I always had that
Mhm.
warrior instinct. Like it's just me that, and it's always had dreams about it. Like like always been a leader. And people always tell me like, and I'm a quiet guy, dude. Like if you know me in real life, like I'm not a really talkative kind of guy. Like I'm not gonna be there and be like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm the life of the party, just that guy that sits in the corner, drinks his beer, and just chills.
Mhm.
But I always get drawn. People get drawn to me, and it's not that I want it. It's when I don't want it is when it happens. And it's crazy. And people
I know
tell me
exactly
like,
what you're talking
"Oh,
about. Yeah.
yeah," they would tell me, "Hey, how you doing?" It's just not that. It's with girls, with people, everything. It's just that you come up to me and, "Hey, Mike, you're pretty cool." I'm like, "How am I cool?" Like in my head, I'm thinking, "Dude, I'm not even doing nothing. How am I cool?" And they're
Yeah.
just like, "Nah, I just feel comfortable around you. You're great. You're good. This. I don't know something about you. I look up to you." I'm like, "Okay, like all right, well that's cool." And I have a strong work ethic, and a lot of people when they see look up to me, it's like because I like to be an example. Like when I go to work, I work, and I don't
Mhm.
play. And I guess people just like that. They're just like, man, that's kind of what I want to. Kind of like you go to the gym, right? You see a guy lifting weights, and you see that he has that perfect body, he's got determination. And you're just like, man, if I could have that determination, and it kind of motivates you. It's like, man, if I could
Yeah,
do
it
that.
really does.
I'll
For
get to
sure.
that point. I'll get to that point. It don't have to be the gym. It could be the music. It can be
Mhm.
in anything you want, painting. Whatever hobby you want to focus on. It makes you better. Sport. And I think that's just the way it is, like with life. Like that's just how I found my calling. Like I feel like I'm here for a reason. I don't think we're just here just because we're just here.
Yeah.
Like we all have that. And like I said, it takes a while to find it. Me, I found it because I've been doing this for like, man, like 5 years already. I've been like meditating and focusing, and researching,
Mhm.
and eventually I got to that point. And it's called like you're reaching your higher self.
You know what? I,
And
I am just starting to get there. I literally I want to say a few weeks ago, had this revelation of a way to be happier. And it was really more about being honest to myself and being accepting. Because once you do that, I feel like nothing bothered me anymore. Past relationships, mistakes, situations, I was like, yeah, that's what I did on that path, but own up to that and then move forward with it. And it was really easy to let go of a lot of things. And I started to see things in a lot of different ways. And it was really funny because a lot of this so like I mentioned to you, the reason why my sister and I did our podcast, which if you want to check it out, Effing
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Priceless, is because I had surgery. I got really sick about a year and a half ago, and doctors didn't know what was wrong. Well, it turns out I have a super rare, mysterious, undiagnosed blood disorder. And among many things it did was one of the things is it trashed my liver. So I was
Oh, wow.
fortunate, luckily enough, million to one shot. My sister was a perfect match and she donated to me. So during that time, I'm still at home. While everyone's in quarantine for COVID and this reopening, I've been isolated at home since January 15th. Because when you have a liver surgery, there's so much fear of rejection. They
Yes.
pump you full of anti-rejection meds, which is actually immunosuppressants. So they take your immune system to like a newborn. So if I catch a cold, I die, much less
Oh,
COVID
wow.
19. So I'm not
Exactly.
allowed to be around anyone. So we spent so much time at home recovering. First, a lot of pain and not moving. But once we could get up and,
Yeah,
hang out
exactly.
and, we started talking about all our experiences. And a lot of the stuff that our life has revolved around is paranormal. It really is. There's been a lot of things that from a restaurant I worked at. It's really interesting that you spoke about Spaghetti Warehouse, which is a really cool place. I worked at a restaurant called Two Step Restaurant Cantina. It's off of 6004 in Braun. Well, this restaurant, it's like a home style country restaurant. It's really cool. You should go check it out. The building itself is from the 1850s. So when they bought that property, it was deemed by the San Antonio Conservation Society, I think, for like almost, what is it called when you can't knock a building down, like historic?
Oh, yeah, yeah, like historic landmark, like they just not gonna
Exactly.
miss it.
Well, because it was so old and it was there, it was deemed that. And the reason why is because the people that lived there, his name was Philip Rumpel and Carolina Braun Road, the Braun family. And so the Helotes deemed it like that. And so they couldn't touch it. So what they did with the actual structure was it was an old farmhouse. they didn't mess with any of the walls, and all the corrugated roofing and tin and everything, they used it for the actual roofing of the restaurant. So the restaurant, when you walk through it, the layout's really weird. It's because it's designed around the structure that they didn't want to touch. And it's really old limestone, and it's a really cool structure when you're in it, and you can tell it's really old. But what was key is it was super haunted. There was a lot of stuff that happened there because it was the actual structure itself was built in 1840.
Yeah,
They had
that's a lot of time. That's a long
that's
time.
a lot of time, and
Yeah.
especially in this area, people know that piece of land, and they had 9 children on there, and all of them died in the area. Leslie Road, there's a good church right there that's named after one of the children.
No,
Like the
wow.
whole area, it comes from that restaurant, from that family, and Braun Road. And so I remember I would tell my managers and the owners, it's family owned, which is really cool, that I was totally into ghosts, and to let me do an investigation there over and over and over. When I first got hired, there was a bartender. I bugged them, and no. Well, after I got to know them, they're like, you know what? This place is haunted. People have had weird experiences here, and that there's been a few customers that come in here, and I guess they're clairvoyants, psychics, whatever you want to say, and they immediately pull a manager aside and was like, do you know that there's a little girl that's walking around? And they're like, you are not the first person that said that. Like, plenty of people have said that. So after a while, they finally let me do an investigation, and it was just one of the managers. He took off, or he let everyone go, and we waited till everyone left, because at a restaurant, everyone leaves, it closes, servers clean, bartenders clean, cooks clean, then everyone gets the fuck out at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
So we waited till that happened, and we shut everything off. Like we had talked about, or like you and I have spoke about, microphones. They pick up so much stuff. So you got to turn off in a restaurant, man. You got to turn off like all this stuff except for the freezers, the fridges. And then we did the investigation on the other side, because they're so sensitive. You can hear a lot of
Yeah, you can
stuff.
hear a lot of stuff.
So we did a few EVPs, and we didn't catch anything, which was really shocking to me. But what we did catch was a really good picture. And at that time, I was in the habit of, when I was fortunate enough to be in a place that I thought was haunted, or that I'd heard was haunted, I would take like 400 pictures on my phone, and then later go through them. And that's what we did. We spent about an hour from 4 to 5 in the morning just taking a ton of pictures and talking. Talking to the actual names of the people that lived there, which is, in my opinion, if you ever get the chance to do that, that's a good way to grab some attention, because that's more powerful than just saying, is anybody here? Is there any spirit that would like to
Yeah,
talk
it's
to
like
me?
it
Me
shows like
personally,
respect. It shows them respect because you're still treating them because everyone's human, you know. So you're
yeah,
treating them like if they're still alive versus
man,
just you're
we're
here.
in their house. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you're in their
We're in
house, you
their
know.
house. So, I mean, they literally built that. So we spoke a long time, and we would walk around. David, is anyone here? Carolina, we know all your children are here. We obviously you passed on, but this road and this community was named after you. Just being really nice and asking questions. And there was 2 times when we were walking around the restaurant where I was like, JR was the manager that was with me. I was like, dude, I think I just saw something. He's like, okay, cool. Remember that. Then later on, happened again, and it was actually in the one structure that they said that all 9 children lived, and that a customer or a few customers had said that there was a little girl in the room. And sure enough, in the it's like a cutout in the actually, I think I have a picture of it. How do I share this on
Yeah, it should be share
here?
screen at the bottom, and you should be able to get into your computer and find it if you have it loaded on there.
It says host disabled participant screen, or yeah, I think it's on your end
Oh, and
that you have to allow me to do it.
yeah, I don't even know how to do it. I'm afraid I might do something.
Okay,
Yeah, we
no
can
worries, man.
always. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
we'll throw it up there later. I'll send it to you. But for sure, there's a figure, and it's funny because it's not adult height. It's like a little girl. I mean, I would say I couldn't tell the age, but the height's perfect for 10, 12 years old. And it looks straight up like the little mist at the bottom of the shadow figure. It really looks like a little girl wearing like a nightgown. That's
Oh
straight up what
wow.
it looks like, because the top gets a little, like, you can really see through it, but the figure, it's like a mist almost. At the end, it comes out perfect, and it really looks like a little kid wearing like a nightie. I was like, oh wow.
Man,
And
that's crazy, dude. That's something like I there's a picture that my friend, you know, I had it in my old phone, but when I got a new phone, it didn't transfer over, and man, it was at the, I think it was Santa Rosa Hospital because it's a children's hospital. So
mhm.
one of my friends, well, it wasn't my picture, but it was like my ex, her friend, and I think it was her friend's cousin or something like that. Well, anyway, they sent her a photo because we're talking about ghosts and everything, and she sent it to her, and then of course my ex girlfriend was like, "Here, check this out," and she shows me, and it's crazy because like they're at the hospital, and her cousins, like posing, like, like that, doing that right by the door.
Mm-hmm.
So when she's doing that, on the bottom floor, you see like this little boy crouching, but like with his feet that like that, and you can see a silhouette of him, but he had like this old 1940s like hat, the little, hat like
Oh
that,
yeah.
and he's
Mm-hmm.
just there, and you can see the silhouette, and you can see like the face, and he's all white, but you can see it, and you can tell it wasn't fake, because like it was just like perfect still camera, and you just see the little boy, and he was just looking at her like that, like while she was taking her pose, he was just checking her out like that, and I was like, wow, like
That's
that
really
just
cool.
amazed me. So, and downtown, like you said, it's historic. I mean, you have the
Mm-hmm.
battles, and
I
spaghetti
can't
warehouse.
imagine. I can't imagine hospitals. The morgues. My sister works in a hospital in New York.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine some of the spirits that, I mean, inevitably have to be trapped there.
yeah,
A lot of the good investigations on the TV shows, whether Ghost Adventures or Hunters or all the various shows,
yeah.
some of the best ones are definitely at abandoned hospitals. Or I've never been there, David, but here in San Antonio, I've done a lot of hotspots. I've never been to the sane asylum
we
because
we went to
it's
the jailhouse.
legality. Oh, the jailhouse here.
Yeah, we went to jailhouse. Well, actually, it wasn't here. It was in I forgot what Texas. God dang, I don't even know. I mean, we went there last year, and I went with one of my buddies, and she actually got footage. I'll send that to you. Well, it's a jail like back in, like you said, in 1800s, maybe
Mm-hmm.
even older, and we were in there, and we heard like knocking, and you know what's weird, it's a small jailhouse, dude. Like, it's not even huge, like, but we went during the day. It is during the day, like the sunlight, and we heard like banging on the cells, like if, like, they're locked up, and we heard people moaning, like, and I asked her a question. I asked her a UP where I was like, a video where I'm like, are you here, can you knock on the thing, and all you hear is pa pa pa, and I'm like, can you knock 3 times to let me know you're here, and you heard it go pa pa pa, like, man, it was crazy. Like, it
That's
responded
really
to
good.
me, and then you see the movement. Like, I know, like, during the night, we didn't spend the night there, because they said you can spend whatever you want, but I was kind of spooked out, so I was like, nah, nah, nah. So I know that night, two other of my friends that were in the paranormal group we were, they spend the night there, and they heard a lot of stuff, man. They heard growling, they heard like, they thought there was a wolf in there or something, because like it was so active at night, and they were scared. Like, they were gonna go out there and start investigating, but he was there with two other guys, and they were like scared shitless. Like, they didn't want to leave the room.
I can imagine in all the different spots of hauntings, you gotta always think about how it ended, the life ended, and energy. Oh man, a jail, being forced to live in isolation, losing your mind, horrible thoughts, horrible intent. There's got to be a
Yep.
lot of energy focus there, and it's got to be, I mean, like you said, really active.
Yeah, it's
That's
really,
a really cool spot to do.
and what's good about being an empath, like I can sometimes see visions, and that's what, if they want me to, and that's if when
Mm-hmm.
my energy is like their my energy is focused on me, but I allow it to let me, and I've been in investigations where like they show me where the hauntings are at, or what room is haunted. Like, if I ask it, where are you at, like, where's, and I'll put on that ghost box, and I hear voices coming through, and sometimes I'll go into like a little trance, like kind of like you daydreaming, and you know how you space out. It was kind of like that. Like, I space out, and I'll just see like this quick little vision, and I'll see like the room, like it's directing it, like it's over here, and it's been right. Like, the two cases I've been to, one was haunted in the backyard, and there was like a statue made, like all their worshiping statue, like the Virgin Mary, but all like demon
Mm-hmm.
out. And then there was another one where I went to a house where this little well, actually, like a little, that's where we saw the entity, where the ghost was telling me this room is the active one. And it's weird, because I like to let them know before people point it out. Like, I'd be like, it's over here, before anybody
Mm-hmm.
says, oh, that room is over there. Like, I like to, that's just me, I always like to figure
That's
it out.
always one of the things they do that I've seen on shows, because when they say, "Oh yeah," and they're like, they don't know anything about this house. They don't know any of the history. They don't even know who lived here, who died here. And for an empath or clairvoyant or psychic to come in and say that, that always gets my attention, 100%.
And I always tell the
Let me ask.
people, like, I go with, I would never, like when I would go, like, if anyone investigation, and you're telling me like, man, this is gonna be a great, it's this, I would always say, like, well, don't tell me like names, don't tell me
Mhm.
what rooms are haunted. Let me figure it out. And that's what I like to do. I like to figure out, like, let me get in there, and then be like, oh, I sense, like this negative vibe will be here, and that's kind of like the I like doing. I like to figure it out. If I'm wrong, who cares?
That
It's
fascinates me that you're like that, because anytime I've been in an area or spot that I think there's something there, I literally, my sister and I are the same. We stop what we're doing, dead silent, and we literally say, "Is there anyone in here? Is there something in this room right now?" give me a sign, make a noise. You have my attention. If you're trying to get my attention, you got it. And nothing's ever happened. I've never felt right there when I ask, it's never responded. And so that's always to me, it's like chasing, chasing a dream, chasing a dream.
Yeah.
But you have one step further. You are
It's
and
it's kind of
you're
like
a
a
flow information and energy.
yeah, it's kind of
You're
like
pulling in.
yeah, it's kind of like weird. It's kind of hard to describe. People tell me, how do you get to that point? Well, mine just came through research and meditation, but it all came in just naturally. Like it was just her, because like I know my grandma had it. She would see and she would tell me a lot. Like as I got older, she'd be like, "Oh, I used to see your dad." Her like my uncle passed away young, which was her son, and he
Mhm.
died when he was like 30, and so she used to see him, and she told me it runs in the family, and I never believed her. I was like, oh, but I used to see a lot of things growing up, even now. So like, even with people, like it's weird. Like I don't like if I met your friends, like I can dictate them fast. I'd like not dictate them, but know who they are. Like I don't have to sit there and talk to you like an hour and be like, oh, okay, this guy's cool, he's chill, or no, this guy's not cool.
Can
If
you
it
feel or see auras, or is it more of
Yeah,
a feeling?
yeah, like it's a feel and then sometimes see it, but more like feeling. Like the way you present yourself, the way you come across, the way you like. That's why, because I'm into music, so like I play a
Mhm.
lot of music. So
Oh
like
hell yeah!
to me, music is life. Like I know that term we used to say it, and people think like they
No,
say
me
basketball is
too.
life, but it is, because music is the circle of life. Like
Yep.
it is the melodies of life. Like everything speaks in music. Like whales talk in music. When you hear underwater, you hear them talk. The world speak when how they play like sounds outside of the planet, and it's just like crazy, like sounds like music or like someone singing. Even
Hmm.
when the wind blows, it's like, what, I heard something. And
There's
everything
a rhythm. There's for sure a
yeah.
rhythm to
A-
everything.
and I
Yeah.
dictate everything through rhythm. Like the way it sounds, I can hear it, and the way you talk to me is like how I it's like hearing the radio. You hear a good song, you're like, oh, I like that, very positive, and then you hear something real kind of trashy, and you're like, nah, I don't like it, and you
Yeah.
tune it out, right? That's how I am with people. Like if you come across to me and it comes out real good, it's a nice flow, it's like if we're vibing, we're gonna connect. If it's not vibing and it's kind of, can you come across negative or negative energy, whatever, I'll know. Even if I know you personally and we're cool friends, but I'll know when you're upset. And it doesn't mean you have to be like,
Hmm.
like you have to make a rugged face where I'm like, homeboy's, he's in a bad mood, Bobby's in a bad mood. It's not like that. It's more like, I'll know. Like before you even say it, I'll be like, hey Bobby, are you okay, bro? And maybe to you, you're thinking like, oh, I'm smiling, no one knows, and you may be like, oh yeah,
No,
I'm
there's
good,
some
I'm good.
there's inner turmoil. There's something that's bothering me, and you can
Yeah,
sense it.
and I could pick
And
out to a
you
lot of people. So
and you say that it's not always been that way. It came through meditation
well,
and.
it's come, like it's always been there, but you have to unlock it. Like you have to accept it. Like the way you're saying, like when you meditate, you start accepting things. You start
Hmm.
believing in it. You have to believe in yourself and have self love, and know that it's there, and you gotta accept it. And things will start falling into place, man. Like it's weird. It's like I can't tell you like steps on it. It affects people differently. Like one
No, I
day
think
it
I
could
understand
happen
what
in
you're
a
saying.
year. So
Hmm.
that's how it happened to me. It just, I was chosen to have it. I didn't want to accept it for so many years. I was like, I would have visions in high school. I would see myself doing things before, and I would actually do it. It's like I would see it. I would daydream, and I would see myself doing that. And one quick example: I used to walk home every day from Burbank. I used to go to Burbank High School, right? So, like, I would walk home every day, same street, same routine, whatever, right? And I remember one time I saw the sky was looking like it was gonna rain, right? So I'm like, oh man, I better hurry up because now I'm gonna get caught in the rain. And so I don't know, I just started thinking about something, and then I spaced out. Like, and I'm walking still. I'm not
Hmm.
like, I didn't stop and just like sit down. I was still walking. I spaced out for like a good. To me, it seemed like it was only 15 seconds. I saw myself running. When I got close to my house, like the second block, I saw myself running. And the moment it started running, it started raining. Like I saw myself running, and I made it just in time, but I still got caught in the rain a little bit. And then when I woke out of it, I was like, oh, whoa, almost hit that, like almost tripped over this. And
Yeah.
I'm walking home, and I'm doing my thing, and I'm already halfway there. I'm hearing, jamming out to my music. As soon as I get to that corner, everything replays. Exactly
You
how I
actually
saw.
precog something. That is
Yeah.
that it all the stuff that you're saying interests me so much because I think that not that I think. I believe everyone has some sort of that, but most people's is like this and you're like up here because one of the ways I like always like to bring it up to people that tell me they don't believe in that, everyone's had this experience. You're chilling, you're watching TV and you're like I don't fucking know. Joey's gonna call me. You have this feeling. You just feel it, and then your phone right there lights up,
Yep.
and it's him. And it's him. How do people do that? They do that because when Joey's calling me, his energy and mine is already thinking about what he's going to say to me. Already, already out there before he even picked up the phone and hit for the actual, cellular signal to come to me. I'm getting his information before the phone does.
Yep.
And if people do that, that's precognitive. You're making some sort of connection over, whatever distance. You're picking up on that. That person is actually with their energy and their, aura, soul, whatever you want to get, they're calling out to you. And you're instantly bing, and then your phone
Yeah.
goes off. You're like, how the
I
hell
had
did I
that
know that?
many
There's
times.
no, and you're on another level. You're on, I think a lot of people do that. And when I say that, people are like, of course I've done that, but that's coincidence. I'm like, no, it's not. That's not coincidence.
If it
Don't lie
happened
to
more than,
yourself.
yeah, if it happened more than once, like me, like I'm at a level, but I'm not even at the top level. Like my level is like, if we were like from 1 and 2, like I'm maybe getting closer to a 2, but people are like at a 5. Like I know I've read articles where people are doing it at will. And that's where
Oh,
I'm trying to reach, where I
mm-hmm.
want to do it, where I know I can do it at will, but that's something I'm not there yet. But I mean, eventually, hopefully, I'll get there. But I know at that point, I'm already at a level where I can distinguish good people and bad people without having to sit there and have a beer with them for like an hour or two, or know them for a week or a month or a year. I can tell. Like I said, with the way you talk to me, even if it's nice, you can be talking to me, but the way you're talking, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 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 okay, you're full of shit.
It
It's like,
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't
yeah,
actually
it doesn't make sense.
mean
Like,
the words don't matter. It's
yeah,
what's really going on.
you can
Yeah.
say like, "Hey, man, I used to be in army for GI Joe and whatever, and I used to be like this." And then I'm looking at you and I'm like, "Oh, is that making sense? I don't know, man. You're not saying that you don't look the part, because there's people that don't look the part, but they are. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just the flow. Like it's like, okay, he's saying this, and I saying this, he's saying this, and no, oh, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, he's okay. Somewhere around here, it's not making sense. It's like, okay, but see, if I'm a nice guy, I'm not gonna call you out. We're not like that because
That's
I'm a
not
respectful
a.
person. Yeah, it's nothing like that.
It's not getting you anywhere, and it's not getting them
Yeah,
anywhere. I mean,
exactly.
it's really not. Yeah.
It's just like, oh, okay, cool, whatever, no worries. That's cool. But that's kind of like the gift you have, and it's weird because on my last episode, which were recent one, I don't know if you saw it, we were talking. I was talking to God, I forgot his name. I'm so sorry, Francisco. Okay, so he's a like he lives his life like
Oh,
a vampire,
the
and
vampire court that
yeah,
he
yeah,
wants to bring in San
yeah,
Antonio. Yeah,
yeah,
that
and
was really cool.
he you talked about like types of vampires. Like people talk about like there's people that live the vampire life, and which is awesome. And then there's some people that are I call them uh energy vampires, which are out there. They are real, and I'm one of them. I don't really, but I don't mean to do it. Like you can take people's energy. Like you can take
Mm-hmm.
like there's times where I'm at work. I work HEB, so like I'm a manager, so I'm around a lot of people. And there's days where I'm sluggish, but sometimes I drain their power. Like I
Oh, I
suck in their
totally.
power,
Yeah.
and I feel pumped up out of nowhere. But it's like a lie. It's kind of like you're at a concert, right? You know how when you're there, and then when you're there, it's like right, you get so pumped up, right? Because the energy is just releasing, right? Everyone is so into it, right? So you get into it, right? You're just like, oh my god, I feel
Yeah.
so pumped. It's kind of like that, and and I don't know how to control it. Like I haven't got to that point where I can control it. Like where it's like, okay, need energy now. It's just it's almost like the way your body is. Like when you need sugar,
That's
you're gonna
that's
know.
really cool. That's really cool. I've never thought about that. But I mean, it doesn't surprise me because okay, something that I believe in and that I know that's real and I've experienced it is Reiki,
Yeah,
a spiritual healing, and I saw it heal someone that was really close to me that was in the hospital and she was gonna die for sure. She was in a coma, and mysteriously she woke up. The doctors can't explain it. She should have died, but we did Reiki on her when she was in there, and if it's possible to focus and pull the energy of nature to just focus it into someone to try to help them, for sure you would be able to pull energy off. And if you're already innately able to do that and you're not even aware of it, you're not even consciously doing it, I can imagine 100% of your stories, or I can imagine like what you're saying, that you wouldn't even notice it, and then all of a sudden oh man, I feel way more. And Billy over here is having a bad day. He's
yeah,
like an instant, like,
yeah, yeah. And that's kind of how it is with the paranormal. That's why I got to it, because like I'll feel things even when I'm there. Like I remember one time I had to work. I work a lot overnight, so I remember one time I was a overnight manager. So there was during I think the Easter weekend where like all the everyone I was alone until like 12 o'clock. So I had to be there, open the store at night, and we have trucks coming in, so I have to get those trucks. And so I'm there overnight. Our building's real old. It's on the south side, so it's our HB is historic. It's been there since like the 40s, I think. Um, there's been a lot of ghost activity there, and I remember I walked in there and I was there all alone, man. And I swear to God, I would see stuff in the corner of my eye. I even saw one like with people there, like yeah, how my the stalkers are working. I'm watching the
Hmm.
floor. We're all doing our thing, right? We're cleaning up the store, we're stocking up, and I see a person walk across like the lobby. And I'm like, what? And I hear thinking, like, wait a minute, I just locked up the store. Like, my job is to lock up the store and make sure that
Yeah.
we're protected
Nobody's
overnight.
in here.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm in charge of the store for the whole night. So I'm just like, oh crap. I was like, I know the elevators are locked. I locked them. I set the alarm. The alarm will go off. If someone try to break in. So I walk in. I look in the lobby, and there's no one there, dude. And it's weird because like, if to come this way, to come to the left side, I'm gonna bump into him. If I just take a few steps, I'm gonna be like, hey, what are you doing here? Like they were
Yeah.
gone. So I went down there, double checked. I checked the elevators; they're all locked. I went downstairs, all doors are locked. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And I see things as well, but it's normal. Like it's not scary. And I saw like a full person. It wasn't like a dark shadow. It
That
was just like,
see, that's my dream to see like a full body apparition. When I saw the little girl in the restaurant in Two Step, when the flash went off, it like I saw something, but I didn't really everything detail, person, hands, fingernails. It was more of like, oh shit, I really there was something there right there, but not like that. That's really
yeah.
cool.
And it's gone like that. Like my house, like it is like there's a little girl that lives here. Because my daughter, she's already grown up now. She's already old, but like she's this little girl would come in and my daughter has her room and she doesn't stay. She has her own room, so like she has all her baby toys there.
Hmm.
So she has her little toys there, so we don't get rid of them because it's kind of like memories. She loves her. She tells
Yeah.
me like, Dad, leave them there. Those are my childhood. Okay, cool, right? And my daughter's already 18, so she's like, so I leave them there for her, right? And but it's weird because like I had these visions of a little girl walking in the house, and I remember one time my daughter was there, and she's empath too, and she heard her name called. She, she heard like her name's Ariana, so she's like Ari, and she's like, and she's jamming out on her iPod, she's on her phone. You know how they are with these phones, she's just
Oh
doing her
yeah.
thing, talking to her friends, whatever. And she's editing. She likes to edit a lot, so she's there into it, right? And she heard her name called, and she's like, what the heck? And she's like, so she comes into my room, and I have a big old room, right? So she comes in and she's like, hey Dad, I'm sleeping in your room tonight. I'm like, that's cool, you can have the bed, I'll sleep on the floor. She's like, Dad, I heard a voice. I heard a voice. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, Dad, I heard my name called. I said, she's like, what did it sound like? What was it like? And she's like, it's a little girl. And I'm like, oh, really? And he goes, okay. I go, let's go, sweetie. And I'm like a supportive dad. Like I'm a supportive guy. Like I'm not gonna think you're crazy. Like if you
Yeah.
told me you see pink elephants, I'm gonna be support you. I'm gonna be like, hey, Bobby, let's go check it out, bro. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna think nothing of you. Like let's just
Yeah.
go and
I
see what's going
agree.
on. So I told her, hey, okay, dude, sweetie, let's go. So we go in there, and first thing she says, like, I heard it right here. So I felt this presence of a child. Like when I walk in, and I ask it, okay, like I'm like, I don't mind you staying here. You can play in the room, but I don't, I said, please just don't scare my daughter. Like if you got something to
Yeah.
say, you can let me know, but please, we don't accept evil here. If you're evil, you need to leave. Like I said, straight up, but real nice, nothing
Hmm.
provoking and disrespectful. I was like, I go, you're welcome to stay here. You can play with the toys, but if you're evil, you need to leave. I don't allow evil in here. It is a loving home, but you need to leave. And the moment I said that, my daughter started feeling sad. She started tearing up, and then my heart broke. Like if I scolded your child,
Oh,
like
like you
someone,
hurt her
yeah,
feelings.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I felt that in my heart. Like I'm like, oh my god, I feel sad. And she's like, Dad, I think she's upset. And I'm like, why? Like I scolded her, and she left, and she didn't come back. Like the presence was
Really?
gone. She left, and then she comes once in a while. She'll
Oh,
come
okay.
and she'll make herself known. She'll knock on the door. She'll knock on the wall, or she'll let my daughter know like I'm here. And my daughter will just tell her like, you can be here, but just don't scare me. Go play and she'll go to the room. She'll turn the light on. One time I walked in the middle of the night. It's like
Really?
3 in the morning. I had to go use the bathroom. Right, I get up,
Yeah.
not thinking nothing about paranormal, man. I'm just there. It was at school. It was like a month ago, and I'm just thinking about finals and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I get up and I just see the light in the corner of my eye. I'm looking like, what the hell? Like the light's on. I'm like, no one's in there. Like it's always off. So I walk in there and I felt the presence of and then real quick I had another little quick vision. And I see the girl skipping, walking in. She opens the door and goes in there. I just see this girl. I don't see her face. I just see this back of a girl just walk, and I knew it was her. I was like, okay. So I just went in there and I said, look, if you're gonna play, the light's gotta be off, okay? So turn off the light. I just felt this positive vibe of her saying like, okay, like no worries. And she did her thing, and next morning I wake up, she's gone. It's like she
Damn.
lives, she comes around once in a while, and
So, so let me ask you something.
yeah,
You're at a level of connection with the afterlife that I would love to get to one day. Uh, I don't know if it's innately in me or if it's something I can build because, like you're saying, you said your grandmother or grandfather had it too.
yeah, grandma had
My
it, yeah.
everyone, all the women on my mom's side of the family have they sense something, and it's been proven time and time and time again. But my question for you is, you're saying that it's gotten stronger, and that maybe one day after practice and more ascension or building up in your mind, do you think you'll get to a point where you can actually help spirits move on?
Well, yeah, definitely
Or
you
how would you
can.
even do that? I don't even know how to do that. So that's
Like what a lot of spirits that are like you said, they're scared. You gotta think about it. You have people that have been dead since like the 1800s. We're now in 2020. They see things, what we see now is normal to them. It's weird. It's like, whoa, it's a
oh, for
walking
sure.
cat. It's a vehicle. Like to our car, they probably think it's a walking tiger. Or chariot or something.
Yeah.
Floating. They wouldn't know. It's like us going into the future. Right? We're time travel and go to the future. We'll see flying things. We're gonna freak out. Right? We're gonna be like, what's
Yeah. We
that?
wouldn't
What's that?
understand
We
anything.
wouldn't
Yeah.
understand anything. Yeah, we wouldn't understand what happened. But that's kind of the way I see it. And maybe like I'm a big I'm into religion, but I'm not really a follower of church. Like I'm more like I believe there's a higher being, there's a God, but I don't think like you have to find him. Like
Hmm.
and you're all connected. Like you all talked about, we're all connected, and you have to soul search yourself. Like I mean, yes, you go to church and that's great, that's perfect, that's your meditation. Go for it. I support you
Hmm.
100%. But for me, it's not for me. I'm always been like
Me too.
I don't need to be told what I need to do. I don't need to do things like, oh, well, you did it because you had to. If I do a good thing, it's because I did it. It's
I
not
went
because
to.
someone told me.
I know what you mean. I went to uh, private Catholic elementary, middle, high school, and St. Mary's University. And I'm not Catholic, bro. I mean, my
Yeah,
mom and family is, but it was just not for me. I immensely respect people that have faith because I don't have a faith in one divinity, one story. And that's what I would call religions,
yeah,
like different stories, it's all their version of something good. But the other day, when I talk about I had that revelation of letting go of things, what I had a real sense of was good and evil. I had a real sense of evil, and it wasn't a frightening sense. It was a understanding of how it's affected me and maybe how it affects us in daily life way more than others. I had just a weird, bizarre feeling about evil, and it really made me really maybe not judge so much because for certain people or for certain situations, it was just like maybe there's more going on that meets the eye. And with paranormal stuff,
yeah. Like if you're gonna
there's
do,
so much that we don't understand.
yeah, yeah. Like if you're gonna do religion and paranormal, you gotta have an open mind. Like you gotta, like me, I was
100%.
I was born Catholic, so like, and it's my family's like, I mean, like my dad is Mormon, but like my mom and my mom's has been Catholic, so I'm still Catholic. I still say I'm a Catholic.
Hmm.
So religion, and I still believe in teachings and stuff like that. So I'm a true Catholic. So I love like anything Catholic. I love their services. So when people ask me like, "Are you religion?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a Catholic." That's
Hmm.
just who I am. I always been, loved it. Always loved the whole Catholic thing. Just me. I just love the religion, but I always had an open mind. Like I'm always
Oh
gonna
yeah.
be like we're gonna be going into paranormal. Like I'm not gonna be like, no, 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 it's not gonna happen. No, no, it cannot happen
How are
because
you
it
going to
says
put a
here.
limit on something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
You can't
exactly.
say, "Oh, that exists, but that
Yeah,
doesn't." Dude, we
it's
don't know. We don't
yeah,
know.
exactly.
So
It's like saying like we can't say we're the only planet on the Earth that has a life when we have
big
like
time.
trillions of, like, we're just like a little grain of sand in the expanding universe, right?
Not
Or
to mention that the Homo sapiens, our species, is like 10,000 years old. That's a
yeah,
speck. That's
yeah,
nothing for a galaxy, like time wise. That's
yeah.
nothing.
And see, so like that's why I love about the paranormal is that you can, you have to have an open mind if you're going to get into it. And I just feel a lot of people don't, like I said, and I'm not saying disrespect them. It's just people just believe what they believe, and that's cool. But sometimes you have to think outside the box. Like you have to say like, yeah, there is this here, but things change. We evolve. We're
Mhm.
I mean, as it is, I mean, I mean, I know UFOs exist. I know that for a fact. I
Oh yeah.
even I even know that they're here already. I know they're
I've
here.
seen one. I've seen one here at my property
Yeah,
fly over the house.
they're
Yeah,
among us. They're here. They're
I believe
already
that too.
here. And I'm not saying that I saw like, oh yeah, I had, he comes to my house and we party all night. No, it's that
Yeah,
feeling that you get. It's when you hear stories, when you read articles, your heart's gonna dictate which is real and fake. And I know they're already here. I mean, like, they have to be here. It's just, and like I said, when you meditate and reach that higher level and you become one with nature, because that's all
hmm
it is. You have to become one with nature. You gotta sun gaze. You have to meditate. Sun gazing
yeah,
is good. You have to. Have you ever been like gone outside and felt the sun and you kind of feel energized? Like you feel like, man, it feels
you
feels good.
100% you're getting energy, and it's not
Yes.
just ultraviolet vitamin D. It's there's something more to it.
Yeah. There's
There's
something
something more.
more.
There's something way more. You get. I mean, I know this can be explained chemistry wise, and someone's gonna call me out with saying serotonin or something, but I mean, your mood is different inside and outside. Your mood is really different. If you're stuck isolated, that's why a lot of people, it's unfortunate, a lot of people are not doing well with this COVID
Yeah.
quarantine.
It's
They don't do well not being around other people's energy, being around other people, being locked inside. A lot of people are not.
it's not, honestly, it's not good. I mean, but I mean, like I said, we need to protect our, we
Oh,
still
for
gotta
sure.
be protective.
100%.
Honestly, yeah, we gotta be played safe. We just can't assume that everything is fine. We gotta play. Like when I go out, I don't wear a mask. I'm not a big thing, but I still wear it.
Mhm.
Out of respect for people. I know a lot of people are not wearing it now, but I still do it for the respect of them.
Oh, see me.
Because
Well, I'm still immunocompromised. I don't go anywhere because for
yeah,
that reason alone, I can't risk it. For me, a cold can be deadly, so much less something that's already
yeah,
deadly, and it goes after older,
yeah,
older
older
because of
people,
their
yeah.
immunity and immunocompromised. That's me.
Yeah.
That's me for
So
right now.
yeah,
So
so that's why I'm respectful to my community, to my people.
yeah,
I wear it. Like even if I knew if it was like non-existent, I still wear it because like I said, I'm a real loving guy. I have respect for the human race. I have respect for people in my community.
yeah.
I always wear it. I go out there, people tell me, "Oh, I don't like it." I'm like, just wear it, dude. Like it's not gonna kill you.
It's
Like
not about you.
it's
It's
not.
about it could be your family member, it
Yeah,
could be your
it could
grandma, your
be.
niece, your daughter. I mean,
Yeah,
think about it
you
like that.
you got to
You
think
know?
about it. Yeah, think about it for
Yeah.
them. Don't be so like prideful and think about yourself. Me, I take precaution regardless. I come in, wash
Mhm.
my hands, do my thing. You know, um, when I get home, and do all that safety things they recommend us to do. But like that's just the way the paranormal is. Paranormal. I just believe that you know you have an open mind. And when what's weird is like once you accept it and you just run with it and you just don't care, that's when everything starts happening.
It's because now for you, it's not a question. At that point, when you've really accepted it and you're like, well, yeah, now I'm just open to experiencing anything. That's a whole nother path. Because until that point, if you're still on the fence about it, you're really not giving yourself a real chance in experiencing everything. You're holding yourself back by, they're not real. I need proof. And I get that because I'm a very analytical person. So when I hear something, I want to know the facts. I want to know.
Yeah.
But
And me too.
I
Like I'm
mean,
like that. Like I'm not gonna be like every little thing. Like yeah, you could tell me and I'll know. Like yeah, and I'll be like, hey, and you're like, yeah, we'll come by and check it out. Yeah, definitely. Like I'll go,
mhm.
we'll hang out. Like I'll never like disrespect you and say like, oh, he's full of it. Like I would never do that. I mean, but yeah, I'm analytical too. I'm just not like I believe every little thing that they say. Like oh, guess what? I saw this. I'm gonna be like, oh my God, you're so cool. Like no, it's like hey, well let's go check it out. Like hey,
on the San Antonio Paranormal group on Facebook,
yeah,
there is an influx of people that have infrared cameras for watching babies, dogs, their doorbells, whatever. And these people keep posting all these rod and orb pictures, but they're clearly bugs. Like you can see the rod with the wings,
yeah, yeah.
and I'm like, look, dude, we are all searching for evidence, like awesome evidence, but dude, that's a bug. And they
W-
refuse. They
Yeah.
refuse to believe otherwise. I'm like, dude, I want to believe with you, man, but that's
Yeah.
not it. Come on,
What
you
do
got
you
to
think,
be
what do you think about the
real.
whole TikTok thing? I know that a lot of TikTok. I'm not big. I'm not really into social media. I have Facebook. That's about it. I'm too old school, man. But I know TikTok is like, yeah. I mean, to me, it's like more the younger generation, like
It
younger
is.
kids.
It's
But
the newest.
yeah.
It's
So,
the
but
newest thing.
I know a lot of people use it, but I know they've been using this filter where like, how you can use like put doggy faces on you. Make your pictures look
Oh,
cute.
where it
But
maps
yeah,
other things into it.
yeah, like
I'm
it
very
that
interested about that.
that one, and also, and I need to do that. Or there's an infrared my daughter showed me on TikTok where like you like if I were to put the picture my phone on you, you can see like an aura around you. But not everyone has it. They did it to me. There was an aura around me, and then there's
Not
like a
everyone
dark
has
aura.
it.
But they picture they my daughter did it where she uh like people were doing it where they'll see like okay, there's this lady that was on TikTok. Her mother had passed away, right? So they kept her ashes. She had her urn right on her I think it was like, I don't know, I can't say cabinet. What do you call them? You know, in the living room.
The
So she had it
mantle,
there. Yeah,
whatever.
mantle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she did it, and that aura of a person outlined right on the mantle, right next to that urn. And she went ahead and moved it around the house. Nothing. Right where the match, because she was saying that she was hearing her mom. She would hear her, like she would sense her mom's presence, and she would put that filter there, and it would outline like that a person or like
That's
that
super
energy.
cool.
So I
I
haven't
really
done
want
it
to see
yet.
that.
I haven't done it yet. That's maybe the next solo experiment I'll do. Hopefully,
Mhm.
I'll do it and I'll record and maybe upload it. But that's something I want to do.
I would just be interested on how the program's written because it's what is it basing what it's putting that ore on. What piece of equipment that blows my mind, and I don't know why they don't use it 100% of the time on every ghost show, is the SLS camera.
Oh
That
yes,
that would okay. Do you know that I believe Bill, what's his name, Bill Chappell, that he thought of that idea and structured it after Paranormal Activity, the movie. Remember in Paranormal
yeah.
Activity, they have the that was my mic. They have the Kinects camera, and then they turn on the infrared camera, and they can see the laser grid. Well, that's how, and you can see the ghost in
Yeah,
that particular scene because the lasers are moving. That's how he thought of it. Like, wait a minute, this infrared grid of lasers. If I write the software to just map any distancing, that's how it shows up on his software. I was like, that's fucking brilliant. And when they see a stick figure right next to you, or when it crawls up the wall, I'm like, holy shit, okay.
well
I really like, why
they
aren't they
done
using
that.
this?
Do you remember the Xbox, the Connect?
No, that's what
The
I'm saying.
yeah
I
yeah
love
yeah
that.
yeah
It's called the
yeah.
SLS,
I have
structured light something.
yeah, I have some buddies. And you can look at their Facebook too. They're called the San Antonio Dead Seekers. My buddy Junior and his wife and his, I think it's his, well, her brother, and that's his brother-in-law and his wife. They're also a San Antonio Paranormal group, and I've gone with investigations with them, and they're real cool cats, man. But they've used that, and man, and it amazed me because like I never thought about that. And they and his
Mhm.
her brother-in-law is real good with all that technical stuff. He made an SNL. He had that SL camera from the Connect, and he took it out, and man, it was cool. Like we actually saw like some stuff, like an image, like someone right next to that room, or
That
it's
blows my
crazy.
mind.
Yeah,
That's
that's
I really want that program because it makes sense. Because if you think about what are the worst photos that we have of like ghosts, like Polaroids, maybe like from the
yeah,
80s. Okay, I mean, way back in the day, those big flash ones with the gun or the flash powder and
yeah,
everything, you saw ghostly images. But as technology gets better, if those old school cameras can somehow pick up ghosts and see in between, you know, the whatever is in between our world and theirs, whether it's a realm, a dimension, whatever, a camera can pick it up in some ways. So as cameras get better, I think we're actually going to get to a point where, like you're saying, an app, and you'll be like, she's right there. I see her, like
yeah. And it's
that's
we're
oh,
getting
that's
to
really
that point,
cool.
or we're getting closer to it now. And
Hmm.
you know, well, back then, talk about old technology. Steve Huff, this is what really proved to me that he's legit, because he's got his new tech, man, and I want you to check it out, and you're gonna see his ghost box and everything, and you're gonna be blown, like how they're talking to him. And then he's got old technology, and I had this piece of equipment, man, and it's worth a lot of money now because he's proven. It was an old Panasonic 1996 DR60. You remember the old tape recorders? They're like plastic, and you would hit like record, and it record like 60 seconds of like audio.
Okay.
And this was
Yeah.
back in '90s, like, and man, I had that. Wait away. One day he was just trying to prove to people, because a lot of people were saying he was fake and everything. So he had a connection with a ghost. He would put on his technology. He would talk, and they would respond to him. Then he's like, all right, now I'm gonna go ahead and turn everything off, and I'm gonna use my DR60. So of course he hits record. He's talking like we are, like, is anybody here? Blah blah blah, whatever, right? And they would respond to him. He'll record, he'll hear it, and you hear in the background, "Hi, Steve," or "Hey," and they'll respond to him. Or if you hear yes, no, they'll say like a whole phrase, like, "I'm right behind you," "I'm right here," "My
Mhm.
name's this." So if he can pick up audio voices at his will when they're talking to him with a 1995, 93 technology, and it's real, like real cheap. Like, you can break it. It's like plastic,
Yeah.
and if he can do that with that piece of equipment, I mean, he's real. You know what I mean? Like, and
Oh,
and that
100%.
and that right now is worth like $3,000. If you go on eBay and look it up, the people that have it are selling it for that
Oh, I
much.
imagine the ghost
Because
fanatics are. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
we're a
they're
big
making
community over the world. It's not just. It's not even based on religion, race, country. I mean, it's worldwide. I mean, everyone believes. Not everyone, but it's universally
yeah, it's
a
it's now
phenomenon.
like in the paranormal group. I know they have a lot of like, and I'm trying to get in touch with one of them. They're from the UK. God, I forgot her name. And this is this guy too. He has his own podcast show, and I'm trying to I want I'm thinking about reaching out to him, but I know a lot of guys, they don't really like being reached out to. I don't know what it is. I don't know, it's a prideful thing. I reached out a couple of them and wanted to go on my show. They're like, no, 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 it's okay. I'm like, all right, whatever, dude. You know,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
no
I mean,
worries.
if it's not for you, whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm
So,
the
but
opposite way. I was going to ask you, anytime you go to an investigation, you got an extra spot, you let me know. I will
oh,
be there.
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah. That's
100%.
kind of what I want to do. I'm trying to build like a ghost community, like a
Hmm.
paranormal group community in San Antonio, where we can all just like help each other out. Like, you know, spread the word, man. Like go out there. You want to come out, great. Because like our group that we're gonna have soon, we're not gonna be able to go to every location, every
No,
investigation,
it's
because
not
yeah,
doable.
yeah, we got live. My buddy Art has a new he has like kids, and he recently had a daughter, and him and his wife, and they have side projects too. And so the Center Dead Seekers, they're good friends of ours, and they're gonna kind of like step in when we can't. And
Mhm.
these guys are like, you got to go check out their webpage. They
Yeah,
got
I
some,
will for sure.
and yeah, Junior, he's a real cool guy. They have, I know they have investigations. They have a lot of videos. Definitely, yeah. So yeah, I mean, like when we go out, I mean, you're more welcome to come, man. I mean, we're not like, no, 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 it's gonna be this much. I mean, unless that's what the client wants. They're
Oh
just
yeah.
like, oh, we only want so many people. We don't, because like everything that we document, we can't really talk up. We can talk about it, but we can't really give up too much
Well, it's
information.
also personal, yeah, especially when
Yeah,
it's people's homes and people's lives. It's not
yeah,
just I just want to throw this on the internet to prove, oh, look at this orb. It's really not
yeah.
about
And a lot of
that.
people are real touchy about it, man. I mean, because they're real like, no, no, because they believe it, but they don't want it to go out there. And then
Plus, they
we've
don't
gone
want
to,
everyone. It's
yeah,
the
to
way they
know.
look. They don't want exactly. I
Yeah,
mean, social stigma. Let's be real.
yeah. So yeah, so we were respectful, and we're just like, all right, no worries.
Yeah.
We could talk about it, but we're not gonna mention no names. We're not gonna mention no locations. We can just say it's in San Antonio,
Hmm.
and whatever, and then share the experience. But yeah, it's kind of like what I want to do is just kind of like reach out, even, and then expand it out. Like, I don't mind going to other countries, and like, I mean, I want to go, honestly, like when I want to travel maybe in a couple of years, but I really want to go to like London, all those like ancient, all those lands,
That's super old. That's the
yes, dude.
civilizations and the cities have been there. I mean, the United States is what 300 years old,
Yeah,
just shy, right?
yep, and
1779.
something like that.
I
Yeah, and
mean, we're
that's
not that
real.
old. If you go to a
Yeah,
country over there, those cities, civilizations are old 1300, 1400. I mean, they were around for medieval times, the
yeah.
Renaissance. I mean, they have history
Yeah, and
big
that's where I
time.
want to go. Like, I want to go to their old castles and just like, I mean,
Oh,
they go out
dude,
there, and man, that would be like the greatest trip ever. Like, go out there,
a
of course, enjoy
castle.
the scenery, and then just do investigations and pick up some
Yeah.
crazy stuff. Like that's kind of
You want
what
to
I
go?
want to do.
You should go real old and go over like in Russia and go to like Transylvania or
Oh
something.
yeah, man, that'd
Those
be.
places are amazing.
Yep, and
Trips
I
of
know
lifetimes.
they've caught stuff like some investigators that gone in there. I seen them on YouTube or actually on Facebook. Where like they caught like images, and they even thought they caught what's his name, Dracula, like because they
Dracula.
were like in his rugged bedroom chambers or something. They saw like an image. They assume it was him. I don't know. I don't know if you remember when Michael Jackson passed away, and that year, and then they went to his mansion, and they were all like, everyone's taking pictures of the media was there,
Hmm.
and then in the background you saw like that image of him like walk across the wall, like he walked. Yeah, you look it up on YouTube, it's
Oh, I don't
there.
remember that.
Yeah, they're like, it's live. Like, they were like, I think he just died like the next day, and of course they're paying their respects, and
Yeah.
they have a remembrance of him. So they went to his Neverland Ranch, I believe, and they had all the media there, and they're interviewing the people that live with him, like his cook, his nanny,
Yeah.
all that stuff. And then it's crazy because like in the background you see like a camera guy. He's got a camera set up there. I guess they're gonna do interviews or photo shots. And the guy's talking. I think it was a guy or girl. She's the news anchor's talking, and he's like, "Oh, there's a room where so and so, slept, and this is where his maid slept, and it's all whatever, giving some like little bit of little history, and then you just see like in the background you just see like his shadow, and it looks just like him, because the way he is, his body structure, he just walks like that, goes to the wall, and everybody's like, whoa, and of course the news, of course they're gonna debunk it. They're not gonna say, oh yeah, as it goes, they're just like, oh no, it was just one of the cameramen in the back, in the background moving around. But dude, it's honestly, you gotta check it out.
It, until we legitimately create a piece of equipment, and that's what it's going to take. And it's probably, you're right, it's probably coming soon to absolutely, without a doubt, prove that ghosts are there. It's always going to be like portrayed like that in the media. It's always going to be like that, which is
Yeah,
okay, because when you know it's real, it's. I don't
yeah,
I don't need to go convince you. I'm fine. Like
yeah,
trust
yeah,
me, I know it's there. If you want
exactly.
to turn a blind eye, that's cool. But
Yep, and
yeah,
you got, that's why too, when you have a chance, bro, check out Steve Huff.
I will for
Just
sure.
Steve Huff Paranormal. He follow on Facebook, but look at him on YouTube. And I swear to God, like everything that we talked about today, like your mind is gonna go like, whoa. Like, I mean, I'm just telling you the little things, and you're just like,
I
oh,
already know.
crazy.
My
Yeah,
obsessive nature with watching stuff like that. I'm already
yeah.
all the
Like
way
this is
in.
better than Ghost Hunters. This is better than all those reality shows or whatever, ghost shows, paranormal shows. Look at him and then look at Paranormal Hope. But I forgot his name. But yeah, this is way better than Ghost Enters. I mean, like this guy is not going out there. He goes out to different areas, but he's not out there like, oh my God, they touched me. Oh my God, and then provoking, which to me was a big disrespect. Because like
Yeah.
you said, you're in their home. They were once human. You got to show that respect, right? And
Plus, when you leave, the people that live there still have to deal with that. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, exactly,
the
exactly.
people that are still
Yeah,
occupying that space,
and you
they
got to
still have to deal
aggravate
with
them.
that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're aggravating them. So when you leave, now they're gonna have to have sleepless nights or bad experiences because you just pissed them off.
Yeah, you didn't help
And
solve the problem for them. You were just there to get your evidence and go.
yeah,
Yeah, that's not the
exactly.
right. Yeah, that's dick move,
So,
big
but
time.
yeah, definitely, man. You can check him out. He's man. When I saw him, I was just like blown away. I was like, and what blew me away the most is the fact that he made a connection with them. Like, it's almost like they're living at your house and they're just like hanging out. You're just like, hey, what's up? And he's talking to these people, talking to these spirits, and they're coming through and they're like, Steve Huff, hey Huff, and he'll ask him who's here, and they'll call his name out and, hi Huff, how you doing? And he'll ask him questions like, what's in the afterlife? Is COVID-19? How what's the future? And they're responding to him. They're answering his questions.
That's
There's
insane. I gotta watch those. That's
yeah,
really cool.
it's really cool, man. And yeah, when I found this guy, I just knew he was downright like legit. Like I was like, and that's what fascinated me more. He
Yeah,
actually sells that box, and it's a lot of money. It's like $500, and
I,
I'm thinking
I've
about
looked
getting it.
up. I've looked up spirit boxes and SB7, the one that
Yeah,
sweeps the channels, which is really cool because people that don't understand, they're like, "Oh, it just picked up, the neighbors." Blah blah. It's like, no, that device is sweeping different channels. So when you hear something, oh, that word that it said, it's over like 8 different channels. Explain that, and people they're not understanding how that equipment
yeah,
works.
and it does.
Oh
You hear
man,
it
those are
because
cool.
it's making a noise. It's like going right,
Mhm.
and then you may hear maybe some radio, like you hear like and like, but then when you ask it a question like, are you here? And it says you hear it go and it go, yes, I'm here.
Mhm.
That's response. People
That's
don't get that. They're just like,
it's over multiple sweeps. Yeah,
yeah, it's going through so many channels and it directed to you. It's like yes, or what, or
yeah.
it's answering whatever yeah, whatever you're asking it, it's answering it. And it's just like, wow, dude. And I've been, like I said, I've been out a few times and it's responded to me and to my fellow, people that are with me. It's like, whoa, like,
That's
did it
really
just say
cool.
this? I call out
Mhm.
names, call out, my name, call out other people's names. I mean, that's amazing. So now you know that there's something there, like it's, we're not alone, like people think.
Do you feel that when you've done those EVPs or spirit box sessions, that if you can, do you think that they try to take your energy more than other people because of your uniqueness?
Yeah, they do. Like when I went to the investigation, we went to one, and like I said, I can't disclose the location, but it was with a young some college kids where like we went out there. It's here in San Antonio. And we went to their house, and supposedly a buddy of theirs put a curse on her. That's what I picked up. And
Mm.
like I said, when I investigate, I don't just investigate. Like I look around the room, and I'm just like, oh, okay, are you here? What I look at detail. I look at pictures. I look at their bed, the guitars, whatever they have in their room. That's how I distinguish the person who they are. And I look at pictures and I look in their eyes, and their eyes tell a lot. If you can look at someone's eyes, you can know a lot of things, and people don't know that. They think,
Hmm.
you're whatever. You can see a lot of things in people's eyes.
Well, I think
And
you can see.
yeah, I see, okay, well, we're there, and they were trying to figure out how this entity, because they weren't really into um ghosts and anything. They just started recently having some paranormal activity there. So they're at, of course, we're working with two different groups. It was like my group. It was, well, not my group, just like my friend's group, and then it was like another group from like Austin or San Marcos. I don't remember. Well, we're all in there, and something was there because they tipped over the one of my friend's purse. But when we're there, I'm looking, and I like to solo investigate. I don't need like someone with me. I like to
Mhm.
like get into the zone and put ear and let my ghost box run, and it's telling me stuff, and then I'm just going to feeling like you said, like it's leading me. So it's like a scent, like a dog smells. I'm just smelling that energy.
Mhm.
And when I'm there, I look at the pictures and everything, and the first thing I ask the lady, well, who's this girl? Oh, well, that's the roommate or ex-roommate. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I go, well, who's this other girl next to her? Oh, that's her friend that's recently started coming. Okay. Well, what do they do? And she's like, oh, well, she's here. Her and the roommate were like having some issues. I guess they were gonna kick her out or something. So, and she, I said, oh, okay. So there's kind of like negativity beef around them, right? We're like, there's something going on. Oh, yeah. And I go, well, what about her friend? Well, she's in the room, and they just locked the door, and they're just kind of like isolating from everybody in that apartment, because like they live with three people.
Yeah.
And so I go in that room. First thing I see is like candles, and I see is wax, and it's all on the floor. It's all like burnt candle, and I'm thinking, okay. And I see hair, human hair, and
Yeah.
I'm here like,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
And see, and the other people there, they weren't doing that. The other paranormal, they're just looking, you know, looking around, trying to see they hear a voice or something. They weren't really paying attention to detail. I was paying attention to detail. I look at pictures, everything. Finally, I realized I think she's been cursed. I think there's been putting like some curse on her, like witchcraft or whatever. I don't know what it was, but it was just that's what came to my mind, like it's just some sort of witchcraft. Well, sure enough, that's what happened. That
Really.
yeah, that's what happened. They something was there. We did like a little seance, not like we all hold hands. We all just sat there. We all meditated.
Mhm.
They were asking any questions. I had my ghost box on my app. Words were coming through. Her name came through, and then when all that was going, I was talking in my head like, "Where are you at?" I, dude, I kid you not, that thing breathed right next to me, like like that, and it was right next to me, sitting next to me, and I said and I felt it, and I said, It's right next to me." And they're all like, "Oh, they're all like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What are you talking about?" They're just looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, what are you talking about? Is it? I go, yeah,
Mhm.
it's right next to me. Feel it. It's cold. I felt this cold burn, and I heard it breathing. And sure enough, when they got there, they felt that coldness.
That's yeah.
Like,
When
and
you
then
when
what?
you feel
Yeah,
that coldness, for people that have never experienced that, when you say that, it's such a bizarre feeling to literally, okay, the room's the whole temperature, and then you put your hand at a certain point and it's ice cold. It's like stick your hand in a freezer. It's
yeah,
really it's very eye opening when you
yep.
experience it. You're like,
And
oh
and
wow.
I felt that thing next to me because we're all sitting down, and I felt like it just sat right next to me. Like, and then after that, when it sat next to me, it moved because like I was like, okay, it's gone. And then the girl was, of course, like, which I really don't, which me, I don't really like it. They're provoking it. They're like,
Mhm.
"Are you here to do something? Show me a sign." Well, of course they got it. They slapped one of their purses off the table,
Oh
and it was a heavy bag, so it wasn't real light.
that takes a
You
lot of
know,
energy to
yeah,
do.
yeah, and it was like in the middle of the table, so like slapped it, and it went off.
That's a clear sign. Get the
Yeah.
get
So
out. Yeah,
after
stop
that,
messing with me.
we're like, oh, okay, and after a while, they kicked that girl out, and I think everything went back to normal. Like, but yeah, it was something her friend was doing. I
She put a
guess,
hex on her.
yeah, she was
I've
hexing her.
lately I've been fascinated. I would love to speak to someone who practices witchcraft
Oh yeah, like
and
it's
stuff. I've
all
been
that is
fascinated by that
all
lately.
that is real too, because everything revolves around energy. Like when you really want something, like you're
Hmm.
talking about, like when you're thinking about something, your phone rings, right? That's the energy that your mind is focused on. You're just thinking about that, and it happens. Like when you really want something, it sometimes happens, right? And sometimes
Hmm.
it doesn't. But it works differently with people. I had times where I'm thinking about somebody, like, oh, I wonder how they're doing fine, and then the phone rings and it's them. you know it's like, oh, whoa, what the heck. I'm just thought about it for like 5 minutes, and their name came across my head, and then boom. So it's just like that. When you focus on something, you could hurt somebody, or you
Oh,
can hurt
I
yourself too. you
I
know
can imagine. Yes, I can imagine both situations. I just. I mean, almost. I mean, it's like the paranormal. I want to know more. I'm 100% interested in it. I'm not afraid of it, and I'm not judging it either way, good, bad, for whatever use. I just really want to know and meet someone who can shed some light and knowledge to me
Yeah,
about maybe just the generality of it. You know, I'm like,
yeah. And I'm glad that I gave you some like outlook on it. I mean, there's more people that know more than me, and that's the kind of people I want to meet. Like I want people that can actually take me by the other by the the arm, by the wing, and say, hey, like I had people come up to me and tell me like, you have a gift. I'm like, what? Like random people come up to me and tell me, you know what? You're special. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm here like, what, retarded? Like I never think I take it like you're special. I'm like, oh, here it comes, here it comes, here comes
yeah.
and they're like, no, you're like, and I'm here thinking like waiting for that insult to come, the drum line, like, and they're like, no, and they tell me, do you have like an impact? I'm like, oh yeah, sort of, and they're just like telling me what they see me like, oh, you have a good
So
vibe.
they're at
Yeah,
another
they're at a
level
high
to be
level.
able to
Yeah,
see you like that.
yeah, like the random people come to me and tell me, you know what, you're a real good person, and and I'm here like, what are you talking about? I don't even know you. What's your name? Like, and they're
Yeah.
just like, don't worry, just keep it up, and you're doing a good job, and then what happens when I'm feeling down? When sometimes I feel like my energy's down, and I feel like I'm kind of like, giving up. We all have those days, where just
Hmm. Yeah.
life's life's beating our ass, and we're just like not feeling it. And I don't know, I just pops in, a person comes up to me and tells me, hey man, you're doing a great job, man, and you know what, you're a special kind of guy, man. I'm glad. I see you here all the time. You're just, and I'm here like, what? Like, oh, okay. Like at work, people give me props on what I do, and I don't care. I don't care about. I'm a type of guy that don't need props. I don't need you to tell me like, oh man, you're the man, Mike. Because in my heart, I know I'm doing what I have to do.
Yeah.
And customers come up to me and tell me that, and hey man, you're a hard worker, and I've been keeping up with you. I'm like, okay, like what is that? I remember when you started, and now you're up here, and I'm like, wow, like it's crazy. And sometimes when I'm down, I need that message, and I
Yeah.
believe that messages happen. And I remember sometimes I go to Facebook and I follow like The Rock, and I follow all these great motivators.
They
And
have some really
sometimes
good
their
stuff to
video
say.
pops up at the right time, dude, and I'm here like,
Hmm.
whoa, like I needed that, and it's just like, wow, like how did that happen? It's like I needed the answers, and it just happened. You
You know
know?
what's funny? I mean, they put those videos out there because they get it. They understand that, and I think that they hope that when they make those videos, that it finds you at that exact moment. Like I think
Yeah,
that's their purpose for it, and they understand that, and that's
yeah,
really cool when you think about when you make a message or when you make a video and you want to get across a message, but it's really the intent and purpose of where you hope that one person opens it at 4:30 in the afternoon when they're having a real shitty day. Like
yeah, and that's what I do on my Facebook. Like I'm not a big social media type of guy. I'm not the guy that takes like pictures and like, hey, look at me. Like, nah, I'm just real like low key, like just like to myself and stuff. So I'm just really to my, I would keep my life real private. Once in a while I'll post like, yeah, I'm here. Like maybe also like in London, of course I want to take a picture like, hey, look at me, I'm over here. Like, yeah, of course I want to share the good news and stuff. But
mhm.
like I know I like to post like quotes, whether they're from me, whether they're from a movie, whether they're from an artist, music artist, composer, poet. I feel like that's just what I have to do. Like
I think I do the same thing
yeah,
every time I read something and it really
yeah,
resonates with me. I'm like, oh, save, share. I
yeah,
mean, that's if it made me think a certain way or feel a certain way, I hope it does the same
yeah.
for
I post
any
it,
of my
and
friends.
I'll leave it like that, and I'll get and it's not to get likes, and it's more just to reach out to those people to know like, hey, like we're all human, we're all gonna
Hmm.
have your days, but keep your head up. You know.
Hell yeah, I'd
and
agree.
that's kind of what I do, man. I try to just be that positive guy, and it makes me happy when I see a quote, and I'll just like, you know what, that sounds really cool. I'm gonna post it. Maybe someone needs to hear that. And sure enough, people tell me like, hey man, I needed to hear that. Hey man, that was a great post. I needed to hear that day. I was thinking about what you said, and and I'm like, that's good. Because I like to keep everything positive, and that's a good thing about paranormal. Like, people talk about like you're gonna attract evil spirits. If you're positive, dude, and you have that positive energy, they know, and that's what attracts them to you.
Hmm.
And even when you don't want to, they'll come to you. It's weird, and they'll protect you. They'll always protect you. Like when I come from investigations, people sometimes we're spooked out. We've seen some shit. Sometimes we feel that vibe, like whoa. But when I go home, dude, when I come into my house, I know my house is like my sanctuary. It's my place of peace. My little heaven on earth, I guess you can say. And I come home, and like all that fear just disappears. They always tell me like, "What's it follows you?" And oh my God, it's crazy. And but I don't, not scared because I seen it. I know what's
I
capable of
mean,
doing. You know?
also, I think at the same time, obsessing or thinking about that over and over would have the opposite effect. it would
Yeah.
probably put you in more of a situation to have an attachment.
Yeah, exactly. Like I mean, like I told you, like one experience I had with Spirit Warehouse, and that day when we went, something tried to attack me. Like I was up there and taking pictures and everything, like kind of like you're saying, you're just trying to see if I catch anything, and I
Mhm.
went to a trance, dude, and I just see this dark figure staring at me. And when I was in that trance, I it looked me, and we're looking like eye to eye to each other, and it's a big room. The room is upstairs is huge, so like I'm like it, and I just felt like it. All it told me was get out, and all I felt was like this push. But what happened when I broke out of my trance? All I remember is just me running. Like I just turned
I
around
mean,
and run.
yeah.
I like, and I'm a hard guy to scare, so like I ran, and I just remember just running. I'm here thinking, why am I running? I look back and I see this dark figure like back there, and everybody freaked out because everybody knows that it takes something really scary to scare me. Like they know I'm not scared easily.
Yeah.
And I ran down the stairs, man. And well, anyway, that day I went home. I had I was fine. I slept pretty good. I wake up in the middle of the night, and it was like daytime in my dream, and I saw that dark figure staring at me. And I'm on sleeping on the floor because I like sleeping on the floor. And like when I was getting up, it tried to paralyze me, but I always fight it. I know how to fight it. So I broke out of it. I looked up, and I'm like standing, like I'm still sleeping, but I'm standing up this way, not fully up yet. And I just see it looking at me, and it ran at me like it was gonna attack me. So I got up to run at it too. And when I got
Mhm.
up, it disappeared. It just left. And then I woke up from my
Wow.
dream, and I'm here like in that position, like what like that, and it's gone, and it's daylight. It left, and it never came back. So it did try to get me.
it's it's good that you knew what to do, because I think there's a lot of people that whether they realize it or not, something is affecting them. My cousin actually, and I think it followed him. At first, he had this weird thought that his old house and his new house were haunted, and then when we really started talking about it and connecting things, I was like, I think it's the same thing. It's following you. I don't think it's based on the house anymore.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh shit, we figured that out. This thing gives him violent, terrible dreams. And some of the stuff he's told me, I mean, it makes me tear up when it's about his own kids, really violent, bad things about his own kids. And it gives him these dreams, and he wakes up screaming, pointing at the door, like in his bedroom. And then he's like, what's happening? And his girlfriend's like, you sat up in the middle of the night screaming and pointing at the door. And in his dream, something was doing something, and it hurt his child, one of his children.
Mm.
And it was right there in the doorway. And it's been doing this more and more aggressively.
Yeah. It's
And at
something
first it's like, wow,
connected.
that's a weird dream. That's a weird dream. And he's like, okay, this is not just a whole
Yeah.
bunch of bad dreams.
It's something connected. Like I like I always say, there's always a connection to something. Something doesn't happen. There's and normally like my philosophy, well, it's just not mine, but it's like every paranormal investigator, they always recommend you that if you're having a shitty day, shitty month, whatever, if you're negative, it's that's not the best time to go on investigations because you don't know what you're going to attract,
Yeah,
and that's what brings things home when you're negative, whether they're violent, or they're just like, I'm going to kick this dude's ass, or I'm just mad at my boss, or I'm mad at my mom, mad at whatever, you're just mad at something, mad at the world. That's the best time not to go because that's your weakest point, you know,
for
because
sure.
you're taking things
100%.
home, and that's where I'm a big firm believer. Like me, like if I'm not feeling it, there's been investigations that I turned down because of that.
Really?
Yeah, like I mean, it was
Wow.
good experiences, but I felt hard because like I have a bad temper. Like me, like when my energy level goes up, when I'm mad, like I'm a very patient guy, but once I hit that point, like that's it. Like
Yeah.
I need that week, I need that day, I need that whole month to chill. And yeah, I remember I turned it down, and man, I was grateful I did, man, because I think I would have brought something home, and I'm a big like like a big conductor to these spirits. Like I know they're gonna come. Like I already know the shadow of a doubt. Like I know I'm gonna bring something with me negative.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go because I can feel them. I feel them all around me all the time. I feel them in my sleep. Feel them at work. I feel them outside of work. I can go to an old church and I'll feel things there. I go to a cemetery. I feel it all the time. I feel like eyes are on me. Like
And
they're
it
just
and
looking
it
at me.
it got to that point after some meditation and trying,
Yeah, like
or
after
it
that.
or it on your life, it just continually grew to that point.
Yeah, it grew to that point. Like something bad happened to me. I guess what happened when me and my ex broke up. We were together for like 10 years. When we finally broke up and we went our ways, and we had a daughter and everything, and um it just kind of I thought about. I mean, I was at that point about, well, during my marriage, during like it was, they say it's a marriage because you've been together for so long, but we
Yeah.
weren't really married. But it by law it is. But we were together for so long, so it seemed like we were married. And I guess after our big fallout, after we divorced, like everything just the shit hit the fan. Like, I didn't know what I want no more. I wasn't happy in my relationship no more. Um, but then when you go through it, it's not as easy. We talk about like, oh yeah, well, she's, hey, I'm ready, man. I'm gonna party. It's not like that. There's always emotional attachment. So I guess
Typically,
all
the
that,
partying is to
yeah,
cover it and to numb yourself, which is
yeah.
the worst
So
thing you can do. But yeah.
all
Mhm.
that was just like a turning point in my life where like I had to really, like you talked earlier, we had to change. You have to see things like, maybe I did mess up, maybe I did fail at this point. It's not all her fault, it's my fault. and and
Exactly.
and that's
When
kind
I
of where I
said
went.
that to myself, and I really just went, you know what? I hope she's happy.
Yeah,
No
exactly.
more resentment. No more. Why do I this negative? Any negative feeling I waste on her is preventing me from being happy.
Yeah, and that's
That
what you're
makes
doing.
no sense, right? Like, so why don't part ways and really leave that
Yeah,
path
and
alone?
that's being
Yeah,
a
you're right.
that's being a man. That's showing love to the other person. You just gotta love them from a distance and forgive
Hmm.
your others and just move on. And that's kind of what I did in my life. I moved on, and that's when I started researching, man. And it was weird because like I was researching just to be a better person, not just in it. Like I wasn't like, oh, I'm going straight to paranormal. It wasn't even like that. It was just like I'm gonna focus on me. I have a daughter. I have daughters. I have to focus on them, be a better dad, be a better man, be a better person. For not just like for me, but for the for like entire world. Like I want to be a better guy. Like I want to be a
Yeah.
positive. I want to help people.
You want to, you just
Yeah,
said it right there. You want to be a positive
yeah,
effect on everyone around you. That's really when that sliver, that eureka moment, when I felt that night, I was like, oh man, I've been wasting a lot of my youth. I'm 31.
yeah.
Like a lot of my 20s being a dumbass. Like I wasn't happy. I wasn't doing things that would even put me in a good situation to be truly happy. I wasn't, like it was a revelation, a little bit of
Yeah,
I can see
exactly.
better
And that's kind of what you do. You just woke up. Like and
now.
see, that's I'm a big believer. Like when people there's things, and that's a whole different subject we'll talk about later. But like it's just to me when you're at my level of thinking, maturity, I guess you can say, whatever. And it's like you see things differently. It's like you don't see things like what people see. I won't see it. It's like you're at a party, everybody's mingling, but you're there, and you got to do what you got to do, but you just don't want to because it
Yeah.
doesn't interest you. It's not
Hmm.
your thing no more. It's like, yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I could be out there, and yeah, I could be cool. And I'm appreciate they invited me. Yeah, okay, but you're just not down with it.
I'd
And it's
rather be
nothing
at home
bad.
playing the
Yeah,
ukulele for an hour
yeah.
practicing.
It's just
Yeah.
like things change, like music. Maybe
Yeah.
when you're young, you're like rock all the way, rap all the way, and then eventually you start appreciating music. You start appreciating more. You're like, okay, I love rap, I love rock, I like jazz. I love. You start
That's a good
appreciating
way to
things
say
more.
it.
And that's kind
Yeah.
of how life is. Like when I see things differently, I don't it's weird. Like once you fall down the rabbit hole, you can't come back from it.
I know
And
exactly what you're saying. And
and
I just hit it, I think, just 2 or 3 weeks ago. I know what you're saying.
yeah, once you fall in, you and it's up to you if you're gonna either choose to be like it's gonna affect you or you're gonna learn from it. That's just life is. Either you're gonna like they say either you bitch about it or you can do something about it. You can cry,
Yeah.
sit home, or you can do something about it and move on. And that's just kind of how I see things in life, and I think that's what separates me differently from people. I try to be the motivator, the positive guy, even though that person might deserve it, but still, we're all human. We're all not perfect. And
Hmm.
that's what got me with the paranormal. Like these people, these entities had past lives. Maybe they regret it. Maybe they've done some shit that you know, and they want to just redeem themselves. And
In your opinion, why are they here? Why can't they move on?
because I think they left. I'm a big believer what Russell Crowe said in Gladiator. What you do in this life echoes in eternity. I believe there is a hell, but I don't believe there's a hell with fire and brimstone. And oh, when you go down there, you're gonna have Satan with a pitchfork, and he's gonna throw you in the molten lava cauldron, and you're gonna be burning for life, and
Hmm.
you'll never die. I don't think that is your hell. Is what you did here. Your regret is your
Having
hell.
to relive it over and over
Yeah,
and over.
relive it or what you did, knowing that you, I don't know, hurt somebody, you took someone's life, you did something out of stupidity. That's what's gonna be your hell.
Hmm.
And I just think some people leave unexpectedly, like it's just tragedy, just like they go, they walk, and I don't know, like lightning strikes them and they're gone. They didn't get to
Yeah.
see their whole life, and sometimes they haven't accepted it. I believe they haven't accepted it yet, or maybe they're lost. You know how they see sometimes they're just caught in between
Hmm.
this world and that world. We don't know. I mean, like, like I said, we can be here all day and try to figure it out, but that's what
It
I think.
really, I think that's the biggest. I mean, that's one of the biggest questions. I always wonder too, because I've had many different theories on it. I've thought, our ghost is being a ghost limbo, because a lot of people, when they talk about hauntings, they talk about typically negative stuff, scary stuff, and it's very few good spirits. And I'm like, what if being a ghost is purgatory, so that the good people, you barely have to spend time in purgatory, so people barely notice the good ghosts because they're only in that dimension such a short time before they move on. But the bad ones you notice because they're just stuck in there, getting more and more pissed that they have to stay there.
Yep.
But then I think about, like, my grandma that came and visited my mom. How does that play into effect years down the road? It's so much more than we can even understand, that
Yeah, like we
it's
don't know. Maybe there's
always.
there's sent. I believe that they have missions. I think people are born for a reason. Maybe when they were born, they didn't follow through. I don't know. I know what mine is. And that we'll talk later. I was gonna write a book about it, and I think that'd be better if I do that more detail. But honestly, I feel like for me, I feel like I live my life like a ghost because sometimes when you do good things, people don't realize it. You notice that? Like sometimes, okay, like for instance, example, like
That means
the
you, to the
the
core, are a
yeah,
really good person when you
like
do that. Yeah,
like the people you love that you want to take care of, but they keep doing like, okay, like don't touch that oven, it's gonna burn you. Don't touch it, and they keep doing it, and you tend to them, but yet they get mad at you when you tell them, and they're like, I know, and they ignore you, but then they keep doing it. It's like they hang with the bad crowd versus like you love them. You have a good mom that tells you don't go do this, but yet you still do it. And you're still doing it. Like don't go hang with that group of people that are bad, and you keep doing it.
of
And you
course.
and
Yeah.
you and you love them more than your mom, and then you think your mom's the bad guy when really she's the one that's protecting you. It's it's
Mhm.
it's like that in this life. That's just why I see my life. Like sometimes, there's people that come and go. Like in my life, I don't have a big social life because to me, I have a philosophy where people come and go. Like there's people that you're gonna touch, there's people are gonna stay with you, there's people are gonna just like people are like seasons. They're here for a season, and then they say the ocean tide. It comes in and it goes.
Yeah.
You know.
I believe when everyone meets someone, whether they're in their life for a week or a year, that there was a reason why you met, and then it's
Yeah.
important to acknowledge that, whether a learning moment, a loving, a teaching, whatever. I think that it greatly benefits everyone to think about that interaction, and think about, you know what, it doesn't matter where they're coming from or how they treat you, but if you treat them right and try to give them any kind of positivity, then that should make you happy by yourself.
Yeah.
Like
And
that,
that's
you don't need to
yeah.
rely on them praising you
Yeah.
and
Everybody comes in
returning it.
for I believe everybody comes in for a reason, even if it's only short, it's a long, but you learn from it. You learn from them. Whether they're bad or good, you learn like, okay, well, I'm not gonna be that
Yeah.
type of person. And then this person comes in and they, oh, well, like that's awesome. Like I want to be like that person. You have your role models and you don't have your role models, but that's just the way life is, man. People come in, people come and go. And I don't mean it in a bad way. Like I don't care. I mean, yeah, I'd care. Of course I care. But
Oh yeah.
it just, people come and go as but we all learn from each other. We might not be the best of friends, but we still can have a connection. Like, I never liked that guy, but that guy was cool. Like he taught me, I don't know, be more patient, when I
When you
wasn't that
don't
person.
recognize those connections, and that's when you're never going to grow.
Yeah.
It's
And
it's key to recognize what you took away from that
yeah,
short interaction or 10-year friendship, whatever it was.
yeah. And that's the way I see ghosts too. Like, I don't know. I just think sometimes they're here to protect. I believe in guardian angels. I believe that sometimes maybe they're here to protect you. I read stories where like they've come and they've helped them, like they're in a situation and, they're about to, I don't know, commit suicide or something. And they come in a dream, they appear to them. They, or they send someone, to come out and say, hey, your mom said this, or your dying father said this, or, it's like we're all here, and I think everything's a message. But
Mhm.
like you have to be awake to see it, and a lot of people don't see that. Like, and I
I think it
noticed that.
takes a lot of work too. I think it,
Yeah,
it takes a lot to get to that point to where you're really like, man, my whole life I've been just closed minded, turned off, down one road and you didn't even really wake up
Yeah,
and look around.
you have options. You had options. You have other roads to take. And that's just what I think. I think just that's just how we are. We all, like, when you talk about ghosts, I think we're all living that life. Because like we're all ghosts too. There's people that don't see you. I mean,
True.
and some
Oh,
people
very
do.
true. Yeah.
Some people don't see you. Some people don't see the good person in you. And then when someone sees you, they're like, "Wow, you're amazing," and you're thinking like, if people are like that, like, wow, that's cool, but not everyone's like that. If you had that, you would have more friends, see, and it's just like
Hmm.
that. That's just the way I live my life. Like we're all ghosts in some way.
Yeah.
Ghosts want us to see them, and only some people can see them, right?
Only
Whether
some,
they're,
yeah. And
yeah,
it's
and
funny that you say that because the interaction that you see, sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's
yeah,
everything in between. Yeah, you're right about that, man. That's a
but
good way to think.
yeah, and that's just my level, like my level of maturity, or I call it, what I call it. I don't call it maturity. Well, it is, but it's more like your higher self. Like when you meditate, you're leveling up, and you see,
Hmm.
like, and a lot of people tell me, how do you get to that point? How do you? And I tell them, when you start noticing change in your life, then you're gonna know that you're changing. When you start accepting things in life, like things that you never accepted, things you never thought you would ever accept, that's when you know you're leveling up. When you just like you said, when you finally said, you know what, why am I going to be this way? Life's too short. I have
Hmm.
options. Fine, I got burned. Fine, but it just happened. But hey, it's all good, right? You know, things, doors will open. One door closes, doors open. Another one opens,
Yeah.
and that's just the way life is. I have it to me. I had jobs where I had, and they shut the doors. I didn't apply it. I never got it. Then I got something better. Even The Rock, like The Rock. That's what I know about The Rock. He says it too. Like I think he was like a football player. He was Miami Dolphins
Yeah.
earlier, and he didn't make
Hmm.
it. And he was like, "That's my life. It has to happen." But then he became a professional wrestler, and look at him now.
Yeah.
He's
Shit.
he's like,
He's a
man,
badass.
yeah, he's a badass dude.
Super positive, super like fun guy. Like he's a positive person for sure.
Beautiful. He has beautiful children. Remarried. Has a dad. He was married. He had divorced. Look at that. He's got a beautiful family. He's got the best job you can possibly do,
Yeah.
acting.
Be
Wow,
a
man.
hilarious actor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be
Be a badass,
funny. He
hilarious.
can be
Yeah.
himself because that's who he is. That person you
Mhm.
see, that sarcastic, funny guy, that's who he is. And that's cool. To get paid to do just to be you. To
Have you
and
seen
he,
that movie Be Cool and Get Shorty?
yeah, those were good movies.
Do you remember when he's the bodyguard in Be Cool?
Yeah,
That's for that
and
movie
I
so
like him
funny.
in the we called the Gridiron or something like that. The
Gridiron,
Gridiron.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
that
football
was
movie.
that was a good one. Of course, Scorpion King. That was,
Everything he does now is really funny, and I mean
yeah.
it's great.
Jumanji is good. I mean,
Oh, definitely.
and now he's gonna play Black Adam in I think DC, I believe, and that. Oh,
Is he
I'm
really?
yeah. He's already. It's legit official. He's doing it, so he's already like pumping iron. I mean, he's been doing it, but
He's already a
he's already doing
monster.
it. Yeah, he's already so he's already getting ready for that role. It's a big. I think that's like a
Oh,
big superhero step.
yes,
So
that's gonna be super dope.
I mean, I want him
Oh,
in
nice.
Marvel. I want him in Marvel, in a Marvel flick, because he's got that persona, kind of like Robin Downey Jr. You know how he's Iron Man, but he's funny,
Yeah.
sarcastic, and it's really down. It's really down funny. But hey, you know, I think he is gonna do a great job.
Have you
Um,
checked out? By the way, I know this is so off topic.
yeah.
Harley Quinn, the Harley Quinn show, the
No,
new
I haven't seen.
cartoon,
No, 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 I haven't seen it.
hilarious. Haley, the hot blonde from Big Bang Theory,
Oh,
Haley
I know.
Cuoco,
Yeah,
Kulu,
yes.
she's Harley Quinn.
Oh, she
It's
is.
rated R. It's hilarious.
I
Check
gotta
it
check
out.
it out. Yeah, I got definitely
Super
check.
funny.
I haven't had time to watch. I only watch anything paranormal, man. I'm just always on YouTube, just
Yeah,
strictly watching videos and evidence, and that's all I do. Or if not, I'm gaming, stream gaming, or
that's what's up.
working full time. So, or well, school was the thing, but now it's out. So, but yeah, man, definitely, man. I mean, I appreciate everything, man. You share with me today. Definitely, we got to do this again.
I think 100%. There's so many more questions I want to pick your brain about, and there's
Oh
for
yeah.
sure a whole bunch of stories I want to share with you. So
Well, definitely,
absolutely.
yeah. I'll text you my information, phone number. Keep in touch. Definitely, I'm always here. I don't, we can always do our own investigations. We can always go because right now, like I'm just like I tell you, my friend, he has his family, so right now he's taking care of his new baby daughter. Congrats, Art. I know you're gonna watch this. Congrats to you and your family. Also, yeah, there's other side projects I've been doing. But yeah, definitely, I have more time now to do paranormal. So that's kind of like the focus. I just really hope this whole COVID-19 just the economy
Yeah.
opens up. But hopefully we do it in a safe way. and we
Yep.
can start doing some investigations. And like I said, you're more than welcome to come out. I'll definitely keep you updated. Like I said, we're gonna have our own paranormal, and Art's a cool guy. The guys are there. They don't mind people. We don't care if people come out. We have San Antonio Dead Seekers. They're awesome, good. Junior and his wife Janie. They're great people. Shout out to them as well. Yeah, they're cool people, dude. So like, definitely, man. I mean, moment we start rolling,
That sounds good, man.
definitely. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I
if
think
you're,
I got, I think I got maybe a month and a half, 2 months before it's actually safe for me to go out.
that's
But
good.
when it's
Yeah,
there, yeah, yeah,
and
I got
trust
to think
me.
about being 100% safe first.
Yeah, and when you go out there, you're gonna love it, man. You're gonna when you go with people, you feel like you're in that Ghost Hunters kind of vibe,
Yeah,
because you have like
for sure.
cameras and you have people around you. It's almost like I said, like a concert. You just get that rush, like, oh, hope something happens, or we catch some good repeats, and you will. Just like I said, I tell them that when you go out there, make sure you just have a positive mindset.
Yeah,
Uh, make sure that you. I always like to keep my mind blank. I don't want to have them intentions of thinking something's gonna happen. I just
yeah,
want it
no
to happen.
expectations. Just need to go in
Yeah,
there, just chill too. Like
yeah, and when you go in
really.
there and it happens, if you go in there,
Mhm.
things will happen when you don't want it to. You're gonna go thinking like, I heard something. I heard, and every little thing that you're just catching, you're like, oh my god. Then you don't get it. And that's just how paranormal works. A lot of people, they're hit or misses. We've gone to investigations where we've gone to people, and uh, technically it's not even a paranormal, man. It's a person. We went to one
It
investigation
happens.
where a guy was like saying said stuff, he heard things, and technically like we never, well, at least on our end, we never picked up anything, but
Mhm.
we just kind of figured out the guy was a little, you just a little up there, crazy. you
I
know
mean, when you're literally in this kind of hobby and this fascinates you, you don't know what you're going to get. It could be
yeah,
anything. You never know. There's times that I've seen them do investigations, and it's like a family's hearing something. It's like an animal that's rooted in the attic or something,
yeah,
or you never know. There's any kind of possibility. But when you really go out there with that kind of mindset, anything's possible. That's when you're actually going to get an
yeah.
experience.
And we done it, like we done one or two where like it was the client, like he was the one, just he was hearing things, we didn't hear nothing. Like we will
Mhm.
be out there for like 3-4 hours. We'll be out there from like 10 at night to like 4 in the morning, and we're like tired as heck, and we have to go to work. Like I have to go to work the next day, like 10 o'clock in the morning, because I'm so passionate about it. It's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, I just closed the store at 12, and I'm like driving out to that investigations house, the client's house, and sometimes we don't get nothing. Nothing happens. It's just like, okay, we just went out here to chill. Like, and but yeah, it's like that. Sometimes paranormal, you gotta have in the back of your head that it's not as exciting as sitcoms. The shows make it like, oh, everywhere they go, they're gonna get
Oh
something.
yeah.
Unless
So I have
for a
a
fact, that is historical, place,
real
is haunted,
active.
real active. Yeah, guarantee you're gonna have something like the jailhouse. It was active. We did get a lot of good stuff there.
That's like a next time we talk, I'll for sure give you the story about. I have a haunted Ouija board. It was actually there was something done to it by someone that does witchcraft, and I've done 40 sessions with it where not a damn thing happens. Nothing. Sat there for like 30, 45. Nothing happens. And then when we done it, and things really scary things have happened where it's flown off the table by itself,
Yeah,
and it was a really bad situation because the person that was in the group asking the questions with us, there's very specific rules that you're supposed to follow when doing it. And she broke those rules and was invoking something bad to come out. And that was a really hairy,
and
weird, bad situation.
yep.
But you never know. There's, like I said, times and time and time, nothing happens. No recordings,
Yeah,
no
and
evidence.
sometimes
I mean,
people bring, and that's a good question, and I was gonna bring this up to you, and I'm glad you brought it up. That kind of like an experience. We did a podcast, and it's on my Facebook. I forgot what episode. I don't know if it's episode 8 or 7, but it's with the Dead Seekers. If you look it up. So the first one's with Dead Seekers, and we're at my house, and we had this podcast, and they were all there, like 8 people there from the group, and we all had this interesting podcast, right? Shared their experience. We had a great time. Okay, so that podcast, EVP came through, like you were talking about earlier. Like if you have the mic on it, and it had Audacity running. We had and they were at my house. It was crazy too, because like it was like kind of like the way it is now, thunder and lightning. It's like perfect, right?
mm-hmm.
We had this
Yeah.
nice haunting setting, right? And we're all hanging out, and then okay, so we do the show, record, I upload it, everything went great. Next day, I look at comment comes through Facebook, and it says, I'm looking at the comments, and it says, hey, that EVP at 2 minutes and so many seconds. That was a voice of a woman. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what the? So okay, so I go back to the video. I go exactly to at that time, and I blast this shit on my on my PC like loud,
Yeah.
and sure enough, you hear the girl. My okay, so during the podcast, my Audacity stops. It stops recording, and
Okay.
I'm like, oh shit. So like I caught it. So like in 2 3 seconds, I hit record again, right? So because I didn't want to delay, right? And well, those 3 seconds that it stopped, all you hear a voice, you heard a woman go like that, fucking laugh.
Really?
Yeah,
And do you
a
think you
common guy.
thought whoever you had over there at the
Yeah,
time, you think they brought that
yes,
energy that
yes.
with them?
That's what I was the point I was going to come to you about that Ouija board stuff. That maybe you didn't have that power or whatever, that energy that at that point. Maybe your intentions were like, but the person that comes to your house, they have it.
No, no, it was such a bad situation. I didn't know this previously, but this girl, at the time she was 17, 18. She was like a senior in high school, and I was like 18, 19. Well, she started asking these really bad questions about her mom and dad. She started crying, and I didn't know what was going on. Well, it turns out that her mom and daddy was a murder suicide.
Oh,
So
see,
she was asking for
yeah.
demanding answers, and you were first off never supposed to ask like that, and not about those kind of situations because you're not going to get the person you want on the other end.
Oh no, no, it's
That's
not.
not. So that's what was happening, and the Ouija board was working. I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! You need to stop asking that." And I yelled at her. I was like, "Stop!" You know,
Yeah,
I was at that point I was mad because it was out of control and she was freaking out. She had no control of her emotions, bawling her eyes out, and the Ouija board was moving. And I was like, "You need to stop!" And I was yelling at her. And we both pulled our hands off, and the planchette flew across the table and flew onto the floor. And I was like, "Why would you bring up? I told you. I specifically told everyone in the room the rules of the Ouija board and what to ask and things not to ask." And then, I mean, she admitted to me, like, I mean, when the board started working that time, she couldn't resist asking about her mom and dad. And I couldn't blame her.
yeah,
You
yeah.
cannot
You're
blame. I can't imagine going through something like that. I can't even imagine. But I was like, damn, that was not the we. And I told her, I was like, 100% that was not your mom or dad. So whatever he was trying to
yeah.
spell, don't even believe that. You should have been asking that in the
Yeah,
first
and some
place.
spirits do that. They manipulate. Like when we went to that house where we caught that shadow. One of the people there, the investigators, her supposedly her dad came through, and she's like, I felt my dad, and me and her were going at it. I was telling her like, no, it's not your dad. She's like, how do you know, Mike? I go, trust me, it's not your dad. And she was just like, no, no, she had mentioned my father. He's here with us. I'm like, it's not him. And
It's drawing
and
her
yeah, it's
in.
just
Yep.
and she started crying and breaking down, and like that's what it wants. It's already attacking you. It
Yep.
attacks you at your weakest points. It
That's
knows.
exactly what happened with
And
my
yeah,
friend. Yeah.
and that's what happened to her. And then finally she left the house. I told her, get out of here, like go outside. She calms down, whatever, and she, of course, gets herself back together again, pulls herself back together. And then she's like, I'm sorry, like, because we were going at it, like, and I go and see, that's what it does. He wants you to fight. He wants you to negativity, it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're, I'm telling
It
her like it's
feeds
not your
off of
dad.
it.
Yeah, and I'm telling her like don't do it. And, and we're like going at it, like literally. She's like, yes, it is. And how do you know? I'm like, trust me, I just know it's not. And she, she's still hard headed, convincing me like, no, no, no.
Yeah.
But and eventually she chilled out, and we all, and yeah, it
It's
did.
hard to convince them because even if they say something that no one else in the room knows, it doesn't matter. That's supernatural knowledge. That doesn't mean it's necessarily your family member, you know?
Yeah,
Because I've been in a room doing a Ouija board and it was working. And I kind of thought someone was messing with the board. And typically, every time I've done it, I'm fortunate. I'm with the people that I handpicked to do it. So everyone with me, no one's going to BS each other. No one's going to lie about it. We're not there for that reason to try to scare each other. We're there to really see if anything's here. And it's about intent, and it's going to feed off of you if you let it. If you just dive in and believe whatever it says.
yeah,
I
and you know
mean,
what? And spirits read your mind. They know. They know what's your strengths and weaknesses. They know what they know how to get down to the nitty gritty. They know all about you.
what I told you about my cousin in the dream, him and his daughter connect. Like their thing is roller coasters. In that dream, that whatever is bothering him affected him. He wasn't riding a roller coaster with his daughter. She went up to the top of the rattler, got off, at the very top
Yeah, yeah.
where the serpent, and jumped and locked eyes
Wow.
with him all the way down. And he told me that the look that she gave him at the top of the roller coaster was, Dad, I have to do this or I'll never be free. No words. That was the look
That's just a
of
yeah.
suffering, and stared at him all the way down. I
That's
was like,
crazy.
that is the worst fucking dream I've ever heard in my life. That's what's affecting them. It's like you're saying, like they have knowledge. It's supernatural knowledge. They can read your mind. So whatever's gonna get to you and pull you in a little bit, or say, they're gonna do it.
Yep,
I
and
mean,
that's
that's
what
the
he
other side
wants.
of investigating. That's the
Yeah,
be careful side. I mean,
man, I would love to investigate his
we
house.
I honestly, man, we need to figure out what's going on with him. It's
Yeah,
because
if
not only him, his new girlfriend. She has 3 children. It's giving every single one of them terrible nightmares. The same image, like a gargoyle, weird beast-looking thing, and then this old lady with a snapped neck.
oh
All
wow,
3 of them
there's got
all
to be
have the
some
same
history.
dreams.
There's got to be history and a connection between that girl and that guy. Like there's got to be some, or that house or
It's my
property.
it's my cousin.
Yeah.
That's a new girlfriend. His old house before this new girlfriend was haunted too, and that's why when he told me the new place is haunted, I was like, really? Man, you got shitty luck. And because they're bad, they're not like a friendly ghost. And then when we really spoke about it, his girlfriend told him, I think you brought something here. And I was like, dude, that fucking makes sense. It's not coincidence both houses. Dude, it never left. It's you. It's feeding off of you and your unfortunately your life
Yeah. See,
trauma, the
yeah,
battle that's going on.
there's something between him that he hasn't found peace in his heart and his
I
life.
know what it is. It's
And
the
that's what it
divorce that happened.
yeah, see, and when you carry that and all that hatred, see, like for me to know, I had to be there. Because like I tell you, when I talk to people, I like to listen to them, and it's like music. I'll eventually figure it out what's going on. I'll know if he's legit or not. If he tells me this is what's going on, I'll be like, no, no, no. Because a lot of investigators that we gone, clients we gone, they tell us one thing and it's always opposite. And I figure it out like, nah, they're okay. He's not saying the truth, and then we find out through the spirit box and everything, and the spirits will tell us the truth, and then we piece it together, and there you go.
I would love for you to meet my cousin.
Yeah,
I really need to help him and figure out what's going on with that
yeah,
situation, because I mean, they're attacking him at his most vulnerable when he's supposed to be at sleep, getting rest, recharging your body and your mind, and it's terrorizing him and the family members.
yeah.
And
See, and
it's like,
that's what
damn.
sucks when spirits uh happen when they invade your house, they attack the people you love, and it's like you said, like a virus. It attaches one, it affects one person, and it jumps and it jumps and it jumps and it jumps, and by the time everyone's affected, it's like that. That's just the way these things work. People don't understand it. It's like they attack the ones you love because they know that's who you care about.
Mhm.
Like if I wanted to hurt you because you did something to me, why am I gonna go hurt you and beat you up and do all this stuff, right? To when I could just hurt the person you love, like beat up your brother, and then it's gonna
That's
hurt you
actually,
because you're gonna see him like that, and then you're gonna know that it was your fault for like it should have been me. You're gonna have that kid like because of my fault. Now this guy,
well,
you
when you
see,
recognize it for what it is, that's the most evil way to hurt someone. I
yep,
mean, that's truly what it is. Go
yeah,
all the way around him, let him see darkness all the way around him, and then closing in on him. I mean,
yeah,
that's
and that's how these spirits
psychologically,
work.
that's the worst way to do it.
Yeah, and that's how these spirits work. They don't go directly towards you. They go at your family members, and seeing that's what it's doing. It's terrorizing the kids, giving them ugly
Mhm.
dreams, and meanwhile, it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna mess with this guy too. You see, he's the one that's bringing it. He's the only one that can stop it.
If
You
for
know.
sure I recognized it and told him that it's fueling fights between him and the girlfriend, I was like,
Yep.
dude, he's like, sometimes I'm so mad for no reason. I was like, dude,
Yep.
it's fueling you over there. It's for
Because
sure. It's
it wants the family to break. It wants because he knows that's what he knows. The spirit knows that's what he loves her so much. He knows the kids and her are his life. So what's he gonna do? Take away what's the most precious thing to you, right? You
Mhm.
know, like a little kid, the toy, right? Take it away, they go nuts, right? That's what it is. His
Yeah.
wife, his kids, those are his toys, his beautiful things in life, and it's making him destroy it to be more miserable. And then
Yeah.
pretty soon, his rivalry position works. Once he destroys that, let's say it happens. Let's just say, God knock on wood, it doesn't. But if something happens like that, where like she leaves and takes the kids and he's alone, that's when it's gonna attack him, and that's when it'll
They-
overtake him.
yeah.
That's
It's
how
really funny
that
that you say
that's
that.
how it works. That's how it works. It doesn't happen like you wake up one day and you're just like, oh my god, I'm a different person. No, it attacks everything, takes away everything from you that it knows is gonna break you down. And once you're already in that point where you're in limbo, where you just don't care, you're suicidal, you're just like, I don't care about life, then it takes your body
Yeah.
and it takes your
Because
soul.
you're truly being down so much that you're at that point, you're you're surrendering. You're letting it take
Yeah,
over
you're
you.
certain, and that's what it does. That's how these
It's
spirits
such a
work.
diabolical way to do it. But if you really think about it, that's when I told you I had a real sense of good versus evil and the actual effects of evil. I felt it when he told me that. I was like, dude, there's so much more going on. It's
Yeah,
trying to
see,
break your life apart to really get you in the most vulnerable state. It
yep.
really is.
See, and how you felt it, that's like the gift I'm talking to you about. You're sensing it now. You see how you're like, I don't know why, but when he told me, I just felt it. I felt like that. See, that's the gift I'm telling you about. That you're just gonna, it's gonna come to you. You're
Yeah.
gonna know when people start talking. You're gonna start knowing which is true or not. Like, oh shoot, like he's real. He is going through it, or now he's just talking out of his butt. See, you already have it. You just need to pay attention to it. You gotta
Yeah.
realize it. When they talk, really focus on it. Like focus, like if like pretend you're a psychiatrist, and you're just hearing the problems. And that's how psychiatrists work, right? They hear your story, they put one and one two together, and then they say, okay, I think I have a theory. This is what I think is going on, or this is
Mhm.
what I know is going on, and then they tell you how it is, right? They're like, okay, now we're gonna do it this way.
It's
That's kind of
funny
how it is.
because I told him that I think this goes way further back because when okay, so like his kids are I want to say like they're in middle school and high school, teenagers. When the daughter was an infant, she refused to sleep in her room, and for like the first half year of a certain age, she every morning they found her in the brother's room, in the living room, or she snuck in the parents' bedroom. She refused to sleep in her room, and they kept asking her why, and she's like, "The man stares at me sleeping." And they would hear her talking, like the baby monitor from the little brother's room. They would hear her in the other room come into his room because she was so afraid to sleep in there. And that makes three houses that have been
Yeah,
all something happened. I'm like, Joey, this
yeah,
goes further back. This has been with you for a while. And when I told him that, he was like, oh shit, you're right. I just thought, this old house, blah blah, because he's from the valley in Brownsville. So it was in Brownsville. Then he moved up to here in San Antonio. That house was haunted. And then he just got a new house out by Shanefield. It's like, that house is haunted too. I was like, no, dude,
yeah.
it's you.
You brought
There's
something,
something
yeah.
on you. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's how they work, man, and that's something that that's something I learned on myself because I was like a skeptic, like how, but when you read it that's how that's like the first stages of attack. Is attacks the people you love. You start arguing with them, you start fighting with them, and pretty soon you break up, they separate, they just break away from that person. Then that person is tarnished. He's like, oh my God, I just lost the people I love, through divorce, whatever, and then they surrender. They don't care no more. Life is already done, and then
Yeah.
that's when the thing possesses them. That's when they can easily just go in your body and it's over. Like that's it. That's when you start noticing a different type of person. It's not
Yeah.
who you think
But
it
and they
is.
always say that when they talk about really bad hauntings and possessions and attachments, they always say that the family members, he just changed. Like I've known him for however
He
long
was always
now,
happy. He was a
years,
great person. He
and
was
then
outgoing, and
just
then now he's just quiet and dark and talking crazy. Like that's just how spirits work, man. That's how evil spirits work, and that's
yeah,
just part of the basis of it. I mean, it is just all through experience, through research that I've seen, and stories I hear. It's like like that girl that I tell you that they put a hex on her,
yeah.
something like that. Something just followed her. The girl didn't like her, and that girl had a past. Her family was into all that stuff.
Mm.
So the friend she brought over, her friend was into that. So
Did she do? Do you happen to know she did ceremonial magic,
I don't
ritual,
know.
or
Like
ancestral?
it was, I really don't know honestly. I think it was just, I know it was some form of that, but I don't know what it was. They didn't even know. They're just saying that, yeah, once in a while they do stuff like that. Like they'll be in the dark and have candles and shit. And I'm like, wow. So I put in my head, it just told me like, oh well,
You're
they're
like, there's
doing
okay, there's more going on than
yeah,
that.
there's
Yeah.
there's something going on, and I told her, and sure enough, that's what it was. That's what it
Oh
was,
man.
and that's just breaking it down. Like it's like when I do investigations, I'm like a detective. I'm looking at clues, I'm looking at pictures, I'm looking at everything, fingerprints, but I'm not actually looking at fingerprints. I'm looking at things that make
Mhm.
sense. I look at people, I look in their eyes and their pictures. I start seeing how they are. Like, okay, that's a picture of a girl, little girl. Oh, look, she's happy here. She's happy here. See how they dress, how they're talking. What's the social hangouts? Ask questions like, well, what does she do in her off time? And that's how you can determine that person without even getting to know them. And that's kind of how I get. And then it starts coming to light, like, oh, okay, and well, what kind of friends she hangs with? Oh, she hangs with these type of friends. Oh, okay. And that's how I caught on to her friend. Oh, what's her friend do? Oh, she does this. She's a weird person. Oh, how weird she's. And they tell me, and then it's like, oh, she does this, which her mom does it. Oh, there you go. See, you caught on. There you go.
Damn.
You
Yeah.
see, it's like that. Same thing with another investigation. There was a lady that was her husband was cheating on her, and her wife just passed away. It was weird. His ex-wife passed away a month, and this guy already hooked up with some like girl
Hmm.
who he worked with. Well, that place was haunted, and we did an investigation, and they, like I told you, we interview them. They don't tell me the truth. First thing I knew, they're hiding something.
Yeah.
How did this happen? What's going on? You do Nope, we don't do this. We don't do this. We don't do this. Okay, so what's going on? Oh, my wife passed away. Oh, sorry to hear that. Okay, and well, what's going on with your wife? We ask questions. They don't want to talk about it. Oh, she was sick. She bad. Oh, but yet I found a girl after a month. Just didn't make sense. It's
Hmm.
like, oh, okay. So guess what? Spirits told us. After I already had it in the back of my head, and my other friend had it back of her head too, because she's a feeler too. She had it, and it was weird. Like when I caught it, and we both got together to talk, we both had the same answer. And she's like, they're not. They're lying. And the spirits kept
So
saying,
Sparrow is pissed that he betrayed her love
yeah.
by
And the
in
spirits
their
were
last
saying,
moments of life, like her
and the
last
yeah,
whatever months, weeks.
and the spirits were saying that girl that his new lover that she with, it was saying whore was calling her. You see,
Wow. Yeah.
and it was crazy is that in that work, I think when they caught her, the image I got was the wife caught them, like hugging it out or whatever. Nothing sexual, just kissing, whatever. And I felt sadness in the bathroom, and they were saying they felt presence in the bathroom, in the girls' bathroom. Whoa! It came to a point that me and that other girl, my friend, it came to a point that the message we got was that she saw them and she ran to the bathroom and started crying.
And he didn't know about that.
He didn't know about that. You see, that's
Wow.
where you see how
He
it.
had never known about that. You just picked up something that
Yep,
you saw a glimmer of her life and how
yep,
much it hurt her and you felt it.
yep. And it
That's
was weird. It wasn't me. It
incredible.
was my friend Kayla. She's awesome. She's a cleanser, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna bring her on the podcast. I've been asking her. I'm gonna bring her on, but she's
I
a
probably need
big
to
time.
talk to her about my cousin.
She's a big time empath, and man, she's stronger. She's stronger than me, but she picked it up first. I picked it up by little notion, like I don't know. I think this is what I think it is, but she already
Mhm.
knew. She knew. She's like, Mike, what you're saying is true. Like I'm telling you what it is, and she told me straight up. Before I said it, she just said it. Like this is what happened, and I'm
Wow.
like, wow. And I was like, you know what? I just had that notion. She's like, well, you're right, but she figured it out before I did. But like we both got the same outcome. We
Have you
knew they
ever
weren't.
seen the movie Stir of Echoes?
No, I haven't seen it.
Kevin Bacon. It's like a 1996, 99 movie.
Maybe I did. I know I seen one with Kevin
Badass,
Bacon.
scary movie. The way they explain what you're talking about is that he tells this guy gets hypnotized at a party, and after that, it unlocks a door in his mind, and he sees ghosts now. But his son sees them way better than he does. And the guy that explains it to him, he's like, it's like you're walking down a dark tunnel and your flashlight, and the flashlight keeps going out, so you keep hitting it, and you get like a flicker of an image, but just enough to know something's there, but not really what was going on. Well, your friend, she got a way fucking better flashlight. She's bing, and she can
Yeah,
clearly see what's going on. That analogy when they said that in a movie, I was like, that's the best analogy for how people see ghosts at different
yeah,
levels or
in
like their
levels.
connection.
Yeah,
The connection to I was like, oh
like
man, that's
see, I
cool.
can't I can't see him fluently or at will, and I know some people they can. There's people like kind of like the Sixth Sense. Remember that little you seen that movie where the little boy sees him.
Yeah,
Like
Bruce
he'll be
Willis.
like,
Yeah,
remember at the end, remember when he's like, oh, there's an accident, and the mom's like, oh yeah, I know. He's like, a lady died, and he's like describing who got, and she's like, how do you know? And she's like trying to look over the cars, like,
oh
oh,
yeah, she's like right there.
yeah, and he's like right there looking at him out through the window, and he's just like, oh,
Mm,
like he can pretty describe her, and it's just like, oh, she's just freaking out. There's people already at that level where they're like,
yeah.
it's like everyday thing. They just see them. They see these ghosts like people. Like when we see people on the street, like, oh yeah, look, there's that weird lady with her. Oh, there's that guy with her. They just see them. It's like, whoa,
That's
and that's kind of where I
that's
don't want to be at.
incredible.
Like I don't mind it, but I guess I don't want to see that. I'd rather be at my level now, be like where I just okay, yeah, I know you're there, but that's cool.
Well, I feel like if you were there, your entire life would be about that. Like they would be bothering you to a point where you would have no peace to yourself. Like you wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to shut it off. You wouldn't have time to really escape and relax.
I mean, as it
That's
is,
almost how I feel. Like
I mean,
anytime you go out in
yeah.
public, you'd be
I mean, as it is,
bombarded.
I feel feelings like it's almost like that because I can feel vibes, energies. Like I can be happy and then feel sad out of nowhere, and it's because the person right next to me is like I tell you, energy vampire. I'm sucking their energy without even noticing it, and I'll be like, why do I feel sad? Why do I like? Okay, like when you remember when the tsunami happened in Japan?
Hmm.
I didn't even nothing. I didn't knew nothing to know about it. I remember I was asleep that day, and when I went to sleep, and I woke up and I heard people crying, and I heard people yelling like, "Oh my God, it can't happen! Oh my God, well, why is it?" Like I just felt people like hurting, like screaming pain. Wake up, this thing happened. It's like
Damn.
I felt the souls of
You felt
everybody.
that, but because it was so many people, it was such a
Yeah,
powerful. Yeah.
yeah. It like an energy wave that just hit me, and I just like it was crazy. Like I felt the cries of the people that went. Like
Oof.
yeah, it's so it's almost like that. It's like
Did you
sometimes I could be
remember? I don't know. How old are
yeah.
you?
I'm already 34.
Do you remember anything on 9/11? That would mean you would have been like a sophomore.
No, I didn't feel anything at that time. I felt something was wrong. Like, okay, I didn't feel the pain of people, but you know what I felt? That something about the day. It just felt dreary. It felt like something is gonna happen.
Ominous, just
Ominous
something.
something is gonna happen. I just don't know what it is. Something's gonna happen, and sure enough, that happened.
Oof. So when you pick up feelings like that, and you're saying sometimes you turn it on or you can turn it off or not, are fucking and you like or music obviously. So do I.
Yeah, yeah,
So are concerts like the best fucking thing in the world for you? Because not only do you enjoy the music, but you're getting everyone's love of the music. Like, is it
yeah, yeah.
euphoric?
It's almost like yeah, like it's almost like oh man, I can't even describe it. It's
I
just
mean,
like
like, are you on shrooms and it's just like, whoa,
yeah,
I
it's
feel
more
amazing.
it's a thing called what I finally caught on to it. It's called DMT.
Yeah, I
DMT
know what
was a drug.
I know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
DMT is.
Okay, it's like that. Like it's like a burst of like like boom, like it's almost like I took
Mhm.
an energy drink or a rush, and
That's really cool. I mean,
that's
especially because I love music and it speaks to me on another level, but you feel things differently. So I can imagine concerts would be amazing.
yeah. Like you know how when you hear music, like me, I'm into classical music. I play the piano. Well, I'm learning to play the piano. I play guitar, but sometimes you hear that piece and it's just like, and I hear a lot of meditation music, like with with so many hertz and all that stuff, and
Hmm.
it like DMT, a lot of music, and it's like, dude, like I don't even know how to explain it. Like I go into meditation. I did a meditation like 2 days ago, and that music was just talking to me, dude. I don't even know how it was. They call it the language of light, and there's
Are you
actually a
talking about the
language.
Are you talking about the light therapy music?
Yeah, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
have you ever
and
done one of those light therapies with the lights?
no, no, no. This is actually just music. It's called light, and it's on YouTube. You can just type it in, and
Okay,
it was so many hertz, and I went to a trance, dude, and like something came in me, like in the daytime, and I was and it felt really good. Like it felt like something came over me, and like something was in me, but it was in a good way. And man, my mind, I was seeing things like crazy, like seeing faces, and like it was almost trying to show me something. Like, bro, I tell
it's
you,
really.
spirits show me.
I know what you're talking about, and it's this vibrational hum almost. But my sister and I went to Trader Village,
Yeah,
and we went into one of the stores that was all like crystals and
yeah,
shaman and spiritual stuff, right? Well, they were playing like a yoga meditation
yeah,
OHM like home,
yeah, yeah,
but it was set at a weird frequency. And when I walked into the store, the little area, like the whatever it was like a store. I felt weird, but it felt good. It kind of felt like a tickle. My sister walked in there, got super fucking sick. I walked outside before she started throwing up
yeah.
her guts out. She's like, something in there. I was like, was it the noise? And she was like, is that what that was? That vibration affected her on a whole
Yeah.
nother level.
And
I'd never seen something like that.
yeah, it does. Like my dad, like I hear this there's a song, it's called The Archangel, like it's supposed to be like angel music, I guess, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like it has this
But it
nice
has
little,
badass trumpets.
yeah, it has a nice little like how can I swear, like I'll send it to you. It's like a like a horn, but like
Uh-huh.
someone blowing into it, but it's real nice, real nothing too like evil, just and it has a ding, like a nice little thing, and at the end of it, and I hear it and it hits me right on my third eye, like right on my frequency, like I hit right here, like doom, like like oh, like I feel it. And like my father doesn't really believe in that stuff. He's too old school, and he walks in and he hears it and he's like freaking out, like what's that sound? What's like what's happening to me? Like what's like, but in a good
You
way, but
should
like
feel it.
Like he could feel, and I told him, you feel it, Dad? He's like, oh, but to him it was like a weird vibe, like, oh my God, what's going on? Like he's freaking out. And yeah, dude, that all that stuff is real, man.
Oh yeah.
That's your higher self. I
The first
meditate to
time I
reach your higher self.
experienced it, like I felt it right here,
Yes.
and the way I described it, I couldn't figure out how to describe it for the longest time until I found the perfect example. It's literally when you stand or you're holding a violin or a cello and you really draw it, that vibration, it's like a tickle something in like right here, like pineal gland or your third eye.
Yeah.
It's incredible when you first like, what
And
is
you know, and
that?
all that music is to reach your higher self. And I'm telling you right now, as a promise, once you hit that state, man, everything that you hear, everything that no matter what you hear, media, whatever, everything you hear, it's gonna you're gonna distinguish whether it's truth and light. And like I tell you, once you fall in that rabbit hole, you're gonna it's not gonna be the same. It's like Matrix, red pill, blue pill. Once you take that
Always
red
take the
pill,
red pill.
when you take the red pill, that's it. Your life will never
Yeah.
be the same because you're gonna know what you see as as their normal. It's not normal. You gotta remember.
Would you say the YouTube light, like
Yeah,
Light?
just put like light meditation or language of light meditation. Yo, I'll send it to you shortly. I'll send like all these videos that I hear, and you're gonna feel the frequency of the music. It's
Hell
real
yeah.
peaceful. There's stuff you can sleep with, stuff that you can like when you're
Mhm.
bad, you feel bad, like you're having a bad day. This is gonna calm your spirit down. This is gonna make you feel at ease. Just relax. Kind of like yoga. And that's why people do yoga. See, people don't realize they just think yoga is like an exercise. Like, oh, you just go there and hum, and that's it. You stretch out your legs. You're flexible. No, it's meditation is like the true heart of yoga. Because
Mhm.
when you meditate, your mind opens and it allows you to do things that you never done before. You can open up that third eye. You can
Yeah.
understand a different language. You can be flexible. You can do more than that. But see, people just think yoga is just yoga. Like, oh, well, you just go out there, you meditate, you do these crazy
Stretch.
flexibility
Yeah.
stretches, and you're cool. Like, no, it's not. It's good healthy wise, yes, it is, but also mentally, it helps you.
Hmm.
That's why a lot of people that suffer depression, they go to they go use that mode, and it works out. Even working out, like you go out there and just go run a lap.
Oh yeah.
That it it helps you. I do it. I go not as frequent as much, but I'm starting to go back now. But it helps out. Like they say,
Yeah.
when you're mad, punch your bag, right? Punch your bag, right? You feel good, right? You're just beating it up,
Mhm.
and then after a while, you're like, oh, okay, I'm chill. Like
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
a form of
No,
release.
the
But
physical routine is always good. I'm since surgery, like the incision, you can't really do a lot, but now I'm
yeah,
just getting to the point where I can work out again. And I was like, oh, I miss this. I forget just the peace of mind of even 30 minutes of getting a workout in,
yeah,
how it'll affect the rest of your day. You'll let everything, get all that out in the gym or however, and then the rest of the
yeah.
day is easy.
Take it
It flows
easy.
better.
Go get some sun. I always like I watch this guy called Spiritual Soul. He's a funny guy, dude. You can look him up. He's gonna take you to a new level, dude. Look at his videos,
Yep.
and he talks about what's going on now and all about this vibrational meditation. And look, trust me, it's a whole different world. Like you hear him,
That's
you're gonna
something I'm super interested in.
yes.
Yes,
Look at
100%. I
Spiritual
want to check
Soul.
that out.
I'll send all this information for you, but
Yeah.
and we'll get back on again. We'll definitely keep in touch, man.
Yeah, man,
Um,
this has been great. I mean, talking to you is really easy. I think we flow back and forth because
yeah,
I want to know more and more and more.
yeah, and that's what it should be. It should just be like everybody should be at the same level, help each other out. Even at that level, you know, I want you to get that. I want people
Mm.
to reach their higher self, the higher vibration is what I say. Because once you hit that, you're gonna become the better person that you need to be on this
Yeah,
earth.
I 100% believe that, and because I felt it the other day, just a few weeks ago. I really, for once, was like, wow, this is okay. Like now, it all makes sense almost.
Yeah,
It sounds silly to say, but I think the people that have felt that, they're like, you don't even need to describe it further. I know what you're talking about.
yeah. But you'll start seeing a change, and it's in a good way. It's not in a bad way. You accept it, you move on, you grow from it, you mature, and you learn, and then you're a better person, and then you help other people that are going through that, and then you become that light in their life. You become that instrument. And that's just the way the world is. You want to be that. We need more people like that in this world.
A
We
hundred
need
percent.
we need more leaders. We need more.
That's for sure.
You know,
Everything's confused with
everything's so negative now. Everything's so negative. Even the media is negative. They
I
say always
feel
negative things.
I always come back to saying I really feel the evil now everywhere. the temptation,
It's there.
people's vices. Like I quit. Like I don't drink anymore. I haven't drinking since December of 2018, and I have nothing against alcohol, but I truly see how it changes people and how it can impact them and really blind them and separate themselves from who they really are.
Yep.
And it's bizarre to see that.
And it's a controlled substance. It is. It's controlled, and I'm not saying it's bad because I drink once in a while, but I'm not a big drinker. I just like I'm an occasional drinker. Like we go out
Yeah,
and hang out. Yeah, okay, drink a few beers, whatever, no big deal. But you just got to remember that like what I see, and this is just my opinion, but what I see in life is everything that I see is in reverse. What you think is good is bad, and what's bad is good. It is, and you're gonna see it. I could be here all day trying to convince you, but it's all about your vision. Like you're gonna have to go through it to understand what I'm talking about.
yeah.
And maybe you already did. I don't know. Maybe you just haven't really paid attention to it. But one day you're gonna be like, oh, wait a minute, now I see it. Like, and you will. Trust me, I see it all the
I had
time.
I had never seen just life that way. I had never until that point. I had really never. It made so much more sense, and it was like, oh, this is how I should be doing things. And okay, you know what? I was kind of on the right path, but maybe a couple steps to the left. Like now, I can really see the path for what it is.
The way I see life is like people say, I'm scared to die, right? But we're all gonna die. We all know our day's gonna come, right?
Yeah,
But to me, the greatest fear of dying is just not dying. It's dying that you knowing that you could have been something great.
it's a lot of regret. I
And that's
mean,
that's my
too little,
philosophy of
too late
life.
at that point, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
like
if you get to it and you're like, oh, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done
yeah,
this.
what's
Then
what's if
why?
what it
Then
said life
why?
told you, look, Bobby, look, this is what you could have been. Maybe you could have been the next president. Maybe you could have been maybe not no one big, I'm saying maybe not celebrity, you could have been a big impact on people.
Yeah,
Local
exactly.
celebrity, local mentor, and you let it all go down the drain because you didn't believe in yourself. Because you
We're
let
holding
people
ourselves back. You're
yeah,
holding yourself
your
back.
whole
You're not allowing yourself to be happy.
yeah,
You're
and
not
see
allowing
and
yourself to
and
make the good moves, the right path.
you have to be
Yeah.
the hero of your own story. That's just the way it is. And life, you got to be. Your life is like your own movie. You're the hero, and you control the outcome. Yes, you're
But
gonna
the
have
thing is,
downfalls. You know.
and people tend to forget that we get to write it. You get to
Yes.
write it. You don't have to be stuck in the same path of I hate this job, I hate this life. Dude, you can change it. You
Yeah.
really can. It will take work, but you can.
Yeah, and it's all it is. Put in the work, man. You put in the work. Even the
Yeah.
Rock says it. Put in the work. Put in the work. That's why
Mhm.
his motto is the hardest worker in the room. And I live like that all the time. When I work, when I go to work, man, like when I work, I have a like my game face. Like I'm not as chill as you see me now. Like
Mhm.
when I work, I go in there and I put in 100%. I put 100%, no matter what. Even if we know we're gonna fail, I still give my part, at least my portion of 100%. That's just the way it is, and that's just the way I see life. I just get real serious, and I focus on things that are gonna make my life happy, not what they want or what the world wants. It's what I want, and that's just the way it is. Like paranormal, I love paranormal. People think I'm a crazy, but like after people tell me like, oh, I don't mess with that, but I'm not gonna stop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'm passionate
Mhm.
about this. I'm gonna do it. And that's just the way it is. And that's just the way I see life is. And as we continue going on living in life and paranormal, and the paranormal's taught me a lot of things, dude. It's not just all about ghosts and EVPs and wowing and oh man, we got something cool. It's helped me a lot, dude. Like it's helped me in spiritual wise. It's took me to that next level. It's made me see things differently. It's questioning things like, oh whoa, maybe this is why
Mhm.
they're in here. I don't want to be in that position. And if I was in that position, this is what I would do to help. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely, man. We'll get together again. Like I
For
said,
sure.
anytime you wanna do another show, man. I don't care. You don't care if we're bored. Just
Hey
hit me
man,
up, man, and we're
like I said,
down,
I
man.
still have a few months of recovery, so I'm home all the time chilling.
Yeah, and
I got plenty of time.
you
And
can
my
let your
sister,
sister
man,
know. Yeah, definitely.
she'll join in.
We can do it again. You want to do it next week? We can do it
Yeah,
again, and
man.
you can have her come on, and we can, because I would love to hear more about her experiences. Y'all too, and and that's what we need. More
Sounds good,
experiences.
man. This has been a lot of fun, man. I thank you.
Yeah. I thank you for coming to the show, man. Once again, I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody out there listening to us, tuning in. Um, we're gonna hear more Bobby. We live in the same town, so yeah, we're gonna be
For sure.
hearing us more stuff. Eventually, we'll get together and start going investigations and trying to get this paranormal community big. But yeah, brother, thanks a lot for coming in, and
Absolutely, man.
I'm gonna go ahead after this. We're gonna upload this to YouTube. Share it, man.
Yeah, I will.
I appreciate you coming on, man. Without you, Without y'all, this podcast ain't nothing, man. So credit to you.
Appreciate it, man. And you know what? For effing priceless, we need you will for sure be on ours as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, let me know
We
when
still
you
haven't
when
done
you're
a guest
down.
yet. I think next either the 12th or 13th episode we'll start doing guests.
Yeah, definitely.
So
You,
yeah.
get me in there. I got one more person. I actually got from Bernie that's gonna come into a show. We're gonna do a recording tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
If everything falls through well. I know he's got some stuff that he's gonna show. He has some videos. They actually went to an
Oh, very
investigation
nice.
to yesterday night. So yeah. So look out for that. I
Yeah,
think
for sure.
we'll if he comes through, we'll post it tomorrow. But definitely I'm gonna post this as soon as I'm done with this. But thank you for coming out, man, and thanks to viewers. I want to thank once again, thanks Art and Dominica Herrera. Thank you for always pushing me to push the podcast. Thanks everyone else for watching us and hearing us. Make sure to tune in. It's just gonna get better. But thanks again, and once again, you guys have a good night, and always remember, you're never alone. Thanks, buddy. I'll get in touch with you.
See you guys.
Thanks, buddy.